Welcome back to the Panel Focus Podcast. This is episode 5, and I'm your host, Yata. As usual, I'm joined by my co host, Knox,
Hey,
Weeb,
What's up?
and Traffy.
Yo.
And on this channel, we talk about 9 different weekly manga that you should be reading. There will be timestamps below in the description to help you skip segments for manga that you may not be following yet. We got bangers this week as usual, but before I forget, I want to say thank you to everyone that has shown us support so far with comments, likes, and subs, and all that good stuff. And I want to ask that if you aren't subbed, to please hit that button and change that. All right, jumping into our first segment of the night, we're talking about Chainsaw Man, chapter 181, Trees on the Mind. Knox, what are you thinking?
dude, I remember reading the chapter right after we uploaded the last episode to YouTube and just being like, holy shit, did we deadass call like most of this chapter like in the review
Bro.
or whatever? Like
I think we call
yeah.
Every bit of it.
We got tree
We channeled our
people, we got
our
the
inner
kiss.
Fujimoto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like we got the whole shit.
we got the trees, we got the kiss, we got everything. I mean, we don't even really have to talk about this chapter because we talked about it last week, really.
Oh my god,
Deadass,
yeah.
literally.
Like we even
It's
went
crazy.
into the details of the fact that, predicting that devil powers didn't work in the last episode, which, I mean, given what we saw from when they first entered this world, that was kind of obvious, but then we got
We
like
said that too.
actual confirmation that devil powers didn't work here.
Who are we?
We're
Dim duders.
Well, wait, yeah. Last chapter, she tried to bang this dude and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been
Bang.
gifted
Oh,
by
man.
Apollo.
I love on this second page, like you turn the page and Asa's face is just like straight loony. Hasn't this happened before? It happens with the Eternity Devil. She's just she does not look okay. Her eyes are crazy. Got the crazy lady eyes. She thinks she knows how to escape. This is not the same as the Eternity Devil, baby.
And the main expansion is insane.
Mhm.
I completely forgot about the Eternity Devil having a very similar power, but
Yeah.
the fact that this
It's been
is
a while.
just it has, but the fact that this just it works the same, but it works differently by just canceling. It also shows like a progression in the story because the Eternity Devil tucked them and put them in a place they couldn't escape. But at this point in time, Asa still wasn't familiar with how to use her powers, so she didn't have that as a crutch to really immediately break out. But now we progress to a more advanced version of that, while Asa is also more advanced, and now she can't use her powers. So they're gonna have to find a way out of this, and I mean, they found their way out, but Asa
it's the
doesn't
kiss,
like
ain't
that.
it?
Well,
It's
no,
the kiss, right?
we don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's that kiss, baby.
And I'll just appreciate. Oh, you go, Yada.
I was just gonna say I still got some thoughts on the kiss. I'll probably touch on that later. Just I don't know. This situation is interesting because it's just like the whole like being afraid. Like clearly they're losing their fucking minds. Like Yoru going like bang to like her head. It's like you could just like point your finger at the ground.
Right?
What
Why
if that
would you do
Yeah,
that?
but Yoru is kind of unhinged.
Yeah, what if that worked? Do you just blow your braids out? Now you're cooked. Like it's all over. like you just she could have did that. Like, but it's like the weird thing is that like clearly Yoru there's flip flops. So like the Yoru can't take control of the body when Asa is afraid. So the fact that Yoru is able to like do this whole bang thing, she's forcing herself back into the driver's seat. I mean, Yoru at the moment isn't afraid. So it's like, is it like overconfidence? Like, yeah, I know how to get out of here, and then like she's
Oh,
not
you meant
scared.
Asa. You meant Asa. I think you said
Yeah.
Yoru there.
Yeah, well,
You know-
so Asa is in control at first, and then Yoru takes over to do the bang, and it's like shouldn't Asa's not afraid because if she was, then Yoru wouldn't be able to take control of the body at that point.
Oh, or
Mhm.
maybe because of this like weird like pocket dimension that they're in, it just like has their entities like separated in a way to where like that stipulation like isn't a thing while they're here. Because like I feel like Asa is scared as fuck.
So
Maybe.
one other thing that I think is kind of an interesting idea here is the fact that Yoru is still able to take over Asa's body, even though they're in this like space where devil powers don't work. So that would imply that Pochita can take over Dingy's body, which we
Yeah.
know what happens when Pochita takes over. He turns into Black Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
So I actually wonder if Dingy's power kind of lay outside of devil powers, and so he'll still be able to turn into Chainsaw Man within this world because it does functionally work different than Yoru and Asa.
Oh, sure.
Here's
Maybe he can
actually,
maybe he can transform, but he just like can't rev his blades or whatever.
I,
I actually got a different thought on this. Like,
Okay.
you know how we mentioned that if it's just pure physical, like everything has just been transferred there. I brought up the idea maybe like their souls got separated and brought into that world.
Mhm.
But you mentioned that Asa wouldn't have her arms. What if just making the gun and tank devils like into weapons, literally just merge their soul with Asa and Yoru, and their physical bodies are still in the physical world, and maybe that's why Denji is like himself again and not the Black Chainsaw Man. And
that
so Pochita, because technically they're only bonded physically, meanwhile Yoru and Asa are more so bonded like mentally and spiritually. So it's
mm,
more of a thing. Because that's why I got off it. Because remember, Denji was able to be separate from Pochita towards the end of part one, where Denji regrew from the Black Chainsaw Man, Pochita regrew from the Heart. They were able to exist separately for a bit.
so
Yeah,
Since so
I guess I never I guess I don't remember like the conditions of like I'd have to go back and read the first chapter of part two again to like see how Yoru got in this Asa body. It's like a contract or something,
I
right?
felt like I
no,
felt like it
Well,
well,
was
yes,
basically the exact same as Denji.
Yeah,
yeah, it was very
that's
it
what I
could
similar.
be the
thought, I
same thing,
guess.
but the thing is, like, have we ever seen her like ingest blood to regenerate?
We've never
No.
seen Asa do it, but it's probably been done. I don't
It
know,
might be, but the
because
thing is,
she,
like, otherwise we'd have like Pochita like in Denji's head, but in this case, Yoru had to literally reconstruct the entirety of Asa's body. But Pochita fully just became Denji's heart, like a singular part of his body, keeping him together, like really reviving him. But
yeah,
Well,
Yoru's has like fully merged with Asa 100%, and
so
also
the
a part of her brain too.
the
I
main
think,
issue with that is
Yep.
when Asa died, she died. Yoru did make a contract with her before she died to take over her body. And she only kept Asa there so that she could blend in with humans. Like she said
Mhm.
specifically that, I just kept you here so I could blend in better. So it is essentially Yoru's body because Asa died, but Yoru just let her stay. I think
True.
more so it's just Asa is there in spirit, and if that's the case that they were brought like just spirits, they should be two separate entities.
Oh, and
Fair enough.
now that I'm thinking about it, I think I said something like totally wrong or whatever. Because so it's just Asa can't use Yoru's powers when she's scared, not like they can't switch control of the body based
Oh
but
on.
no,
I think that is a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yoru
I don't
can't
think she,
take over.
yeah.
Yeah,
oh, okay. So it is like that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think Yoru can't take over at all when Asa is afraid. So that's why I was saying maybe like at this point it's weird because like
She
I'm
seems so afraid, like
yeah,
to be in this place and
but
not know how
maybe
to get out, and especially after being told that you can't escape by that naked dude. It's like who wouldn't be like shitting their pants after information like that? But they seem to be like effortlessly switching back and forth
yeah. I
control of the
think
body.
I think at first it's like she's not afraid because she thinks that like it's all good because like I've been in this situation before. All I gotta do is like think that this is mine and like I'll just
Oh,
fix this shit up. And then that's when Yoru's like bang, and it's like, well, what the fuck? And then when Yoru's like my power doesn't work, that's when Asa's like, well, what the fuck? This is I mean, no, because Yoru is still in control. Like she tries to bang, Asa's like, what are you doing? And then she says the gun power doesn't work. She tries it with the twig, that doesn't work. Like Asa has not like unless the conditions have changed or maybe Fujimoto forgot, but like fear is normally like something that drives Yoru out. And
that's what makes me think that this like space that they're in like changes the rules on that to a certain degree.
The
Maybe.
the interesting part about this chapter is how effortlessly Asa and Yoru are flipping back and forth. So like the chapter starts with Asa in control. And then Yoru takes over, and then um let's see. Yoru punches the tree, and while she's leaning against the tree, Asa takes back over, and then she starts running away, and she trips over Dingy, and then immediately after that, when they're sitting over Dingy, Yoru takes back over, and it remains Yoru for the rest of the chapter. But it feels like because of how often they're switching back and forth, they are merging more in this space. And I think that's what leads to the end of this chapter where, Yoru goes in for another kiss. I think Asa and Yoru's personalities and thoughts are blending even more since they entered this space.
Hmm.
Because we haven't seen them change that frequently, I don't think ever.
Yeah, it's definitely a back and forth type of deal. Um, I don't remember who said it, but like trees are people. Somebody called it. I know that specifically wasn't me. I won't say that was me, but she punches the tree, and the tree is like, "Yo, that hurt," and fucking best. We got her freaking out. She's running, tripped over Dingy's dumbass, and the guy, he's still here. He stopped freaking out, but he called her a different name. He's called her Sane. Last
Ranger
week he
Reject
called her
reference.
something different. Yeah,
Oh
Ranger.
shit!
Ranger
Oh
Bros.
my-
I don't remember what the last name that
I
he
thought
called
it
her
was
was.
you who said the thing about the tree people last week.
I
Nah,
forgot we mentioned it.
that one wasn't me. I said something like, I was like, what if she kisses? It's like a sleeping beauty thing, and Dingy's asleep. She kisses him, and he wakes up, and they like have a relationship and have a kid, and then this shit ends, and then the kid doesn't exist in real life, and they have like
Yeah.
this weird mental
I mean, I'm pretty
trauma.
sure. I'm pretty sure the kid thing it definitely won't happen because they really
Hey,
can't do any other like any other thing that the body would require, like eating, sleeping, all that shit. And they can't age, so
well, they don't
they're
get.
not gonna have. They're not gonna
Yeah,
get a kid.
I guess
Yeah, but I
the
mean, like,
age thing.
But then
do the rules even
spending
really
1,000
have
years
to?
together makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, does it even really have to work like real life in a space like this anyway?
True.
Yeah, there could be weird rules to it.
This could be like some like fever dream space where you're just like, "Oops, I'm pregnant!" Like suddenly,
Yeah, like
So,
she gets pregnant off the kiss.
Oh
yeah,
my
type
god.
shit, weird Fujimoto like
I,
rules or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
bring up what I was previously
mm,
talking about,
Mhm.
because later on in this chapter, where Asa is or Yoru, let me clarify, is
Get it
leaning
right.
over
Type shit.
Dingy, and she says, "This is all your fault. This is your fault, Chainsaw Man. Wake up, damn you! I'm stuck here because you always get tangled up with weird devils." That seems like a really weird thing for Yoru specifically to say to Dingy.
Yeah.
And
I go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
and it's still showing as Yoru in charge, but that feels like something Asa would say.
But it's also like kind of because like these devils like go back to like before they inhabited these bodies. So
Yeah.
like she could just have like a previous relationship with the original Chainsaw Man or
Yeah.
Pochita or whatever and be talking to to him in
Yeah,
that regard. Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Or like, because I mean, since she's met him, they have been involved with like when she first met him, there was the Bat Devil, the Roach Devil, then Eternity, and and then the fucking Falling Devil and the fucking Justice. So they have kind of like been involved with a lot of like crazy devils. But like when I saw this, it did strike something like, hey, is she talking about some shit from like 100,000 years ago? Like
Right.
always getting taken up with weird fucking devils, man. It's like,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
yeah, but like I mean, aging is crazy, and they just been constantly. It's been nonstop, just fucking action and stuff since Asa and Denji have gotten like involved. Um, I'd like for some sort of like history lore drop for Yoru to be like, Pochita fucking doesn't say shit, but he's got a long history and he's always been weird and won't talk to us or whatever, and I hate him.
I don't think we'll ever get that because I don't think Fujimoto's really focused on the this is what happened in the past. I think he's just concerned with how their relationship goes in the present.
Yeah.
Like we
True.
didn't
Nope.
get much backstory at all with any of the characters in part 1 outside of Denji. Like the most I think we got was, you know, hearing about Rize's backstory, where she came from, and then Santa Claus, and you know, kind of how they formed, but nothing in depth.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit. We got like Aki's through flashbacks and like the Gun Devil stuff, why he hated the Gun Devil, but a lot of it is kind of like told to you as if like you already know, like the Chainsaw Man's like followers or whatever, like Beam. We never see like why he loved Chainsaw Man. He just was super loyal and swore to be his number one fan and shit, but we don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do, it's interesting. Denji wasn't actually asleep. He just laid here and he's just kind of accepted his punishment. He's like, I fucked up.
His second breakdown within a singular day,
Yeah, he's
which is actually
everybody.
crazy. All this shit has been going on over the course of one day.
These days be long, man.
Ever since he woke up, goddamn, I feel
Yeah,
bad for
and
Denji.
And it's like I feel like the last time I remember him kind of having like dialogue like this where he like acknowledges his like shortcomings and says like, "Oh, I blew it for these reasons. I suck." And then like it was just all in his head and he's already like sucking on that tentacle or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Fujimoto.
actually, the last time he talked like this was a precursor to even worse events, because the last time he was talking like this was when Katana brought him to the burnt down brothel. And then that immediately was followed by them going to the sushi shop. And
see
After the
they
handy.
end up-
Nayutsu's head on a plate.
yeah. So,
Yeah, so bad things just happen to dude.
Somebody said, who said it? Maybe we said it on here, but somebody said that like that was like a fake Nayuta head just to trigger.
That was me.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That was a big
true.
thing because like Fujimoto was super consistent with keeping that birthmark under her eye. And yet all of a sudden we see her again, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
that's
either
what
it's
she said.
so that's it could just be an inconsistency and he forgot for the first time since he introduced her.
No,
Or it is a fake.
Yeah,
that will be important later.
Yeah, we got like a
pulls
wax.
them out.
We got like a wax.
Oh,
That would be cool if she pops up and is like, well, that.
Give me back my brother.
Man, yeah, I got. That's an interesting point. Like, everyone's wondering how they're gonna get out of here. If Nayutsu forces them out of there, that'd be cool.
I don't think she's strong
would be
enough to
cool.
make.
And man, I would love that. I feel like seeing Denji's reaction to seeing her alive and well. I feel like that'll just be like probably the most wholesome thing we'll see in Chainsaw Man.
No, hold on. So, yeah, so you know how in the previous episodes we were talking about the fact that the aging devil targets the youth to kill them, and maybe that's because the youth has power over him. Nayuta's still a young child, so she may be able to see herself as superior to the aging devil, take control of him, and force them out.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting.
I'm not afraid of you because I'm a kid.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting how OP Control's abilities can in fact be. I keep forgetting that.
That'll be a dope.
That's
way.
gotta be how it happens, dude.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm the predictor.
I mean, I put the thought in your head by bringing this up in the first place.
Oh,
so
okay,
we'll split the W.
Oh,
you get a V. I get a V.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's one theory that we come up with on the Panel Focus podcast. Yeah, thanks for subscribing because I know you're going to subscribe. I'm predicting you're subscribing right now. But
You can't lay it on so thick, my man.
hit that damn button. It's like
Smash it.
it's glowing right now. Do it, man.
Teabag that button for me real quick.
Okay. Yeah, so Digi is he's realized that being a horny, stupid-headed poo-poo brain is what gets him into very bad situations. And it's like, I'm just gonna be a tree, man. I reflect on my mistakes until I turn into a big-ass tree. He's just cool with staying here for 1,000 years. 1,000+ years. Well, more
Give him
than
some time
1,000.
to think about what he's done.
Yeah, you're gonna become a monk, yeah.
So to be fair, to be fair, Denji's entire life has just been him wanting to live a normal life, eat good food. But while he's in this space, he doesn't need to eat, and he can
Yeah.
technically live a normal life, even if it is somewhere down the line as a tree. Um,
Ain't nothing normal about that, my guy.
yeah, I mean, yeah. But also, another thing that I just thought about. So in the last chapter, the naked dude, like straddled the tree. Was he straddling someone?
Bro, he was humping a tree's person's face. He's a
Yeah, yeah.
sicko.
That's what I just thought about. Like
He was getting rocks off.
Wait,
He was
when?
Team Skeet.
The less we think about it, the better.
No.
Yo,
No.
he was getting him off, bro.
There was a face there, and he knew it.
He's a nutty
Oh
dude.
shit, you're right.
This is a
This
nasty
nigga's
guy.
a psychopath.
Bro, he's been going around humping all these tree faces for 82 years, bro.
Bro.
Nah, this dude's
Oh.
sick. We gotta kill him now.
We might have to boom this dude for real before
How
we
do you-
leave this place.
Yeah, we gotta find a way to specifically kill this freak, yeah.
Dog.
Bro.
It's always the niggas with the sideburns, bro.
Bro. Sideburn niggas
Hey,
can't
you leave
make
my
it
man
out, yeah.
Katana alone. He ain't
Fuck
gotta
nothing.
go too, bro. But yeah, so this kiss, man. I took that. So like, there's been a lot of people talking about it, and it brought up. People were talking about last time when there was the kiss and the sexual stuff, like the hand job. There was a lot of sexual assault conversations going on. I took this.
I remember that.
Yeah, the way I saw this was like, not that Yoru was like trying to assault Buddy, but just like, bro, shut up. Like, maybe this will make you feel better. You kind of like. You are probably the only way we're getting out of here. You're really down on yourself, and like I need you to snap out of it. Like maybe a kiss will like make
Calm
you
you
feel better
down
about
and
yourself.
help
Yeah,
us get the fuck out of here somehow.
yeah, and like I'm still on team. Fucking, they're gonna have a kid somehow because they got 1,000. They got 1,000,000 years to figure it out. 1,000 years turns into a tree. Was it? And then the tree has to rot. Who knows how fucking long it takes a tree to fucking rot? Like, bruh, this is
Probably a
forever.
long ass time, dude.
Yeah, like after 1,000, you become a tree, and then you have to rot and decompose and shit. So yeah, I don't know. I think we got a break this week too. Like I feel like this is there's no chapter until whatever.
I'm
Oh
actually
shit,
not
Weeb was
sure.
talking about earlier about how like their bodies are still like their real physical bodies are still in the real world, and then you have this splash page on page 11 where it's like, then when the tree rots away into soil and your mind and body have fully become one with nature, you can return to your body in the real world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is all.
He
taking
might be
place
onto
in
something there.
some other. No, this is in another dimension.
Getting into the mind of Fujimoto.
This
Soon I'll
is somewhere
levitate.
else. This is all
Yeah.
in his mind.
Yeah, the next
Maybe.
chapter is on November 5th, so we don't even get to find out like what happens in 2 days.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We get a week.
Part 2
Yeah.
of Chainsaw Man ends, and it's just 2 trees holding hands, and it's Asa and Denji.
On to part 3.
Yo.
I would be so
Tree
mad.
saw man part 3.
Yeah, so
You know
the
what's funny?
couple's
You know what's
vibe.
funny? I think we're about double the length. I think we're already like almost the same amount of chapters as part 1. I think we're
Part
close
one
to
was
97, 98, 95, 97 chapters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're at 180.
So 204 will be double.
We
Or
almost
the same
there.
amount.
We're almost
Roughly,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So, or we're maybe we're also trapped inside of Aging's world, and we're never gonna get another chapter.
No.
Nah, my beard's still growing, so
Oh
I
yeah, you
will-
have a beard. I'd be
Good for
forgetting
you,
that.
man. Good for you, man.
yeah, it's annoying.
I'll
Beards
take
are-
it. Shit, my
yeah.
shit don't even connect.
Yeah, my shit don't grow. Beard equals power. Yeah, if I got one,
Right.
I'd be a different fella.
Come on.
Yeah.
So let me see. I'm flipping through. I think I'm spent on this chapter. You guys got any other thoughts for chapter 181?
I'm all squeezed out.
I'm
what
all
about-
They're gonna bang
skeeted
soon.
out.
No.
Oh, God.
Okay, we got skeeted, squeezed, and bang.
Bang.
Gotcha.
Fuck.
So I'm cooked. So that's gonna do it for chapter 181 of Chainsaw Man. And now we jump into Dandadan chapter 171 because there is no Centuria this week. Oh man. Corner the Perp. So after last week's chapter, we get Ira and Momo and Okarun going into this like cooking classroom, and we follow up on that, and they get in here. Nobody's here. What's going on? Weird situation. Everybody else tries to go in there, and it's a normal cooking class. Kensa's like, you dudes are boiling weenies. He's got a weenie thing going on. His gags weenies. So that's a thing for Kensa. But Ira, Momo, and Okarun are in the special discount regular world zone. Whatever. They're in a
Empty
crazy
space.
space. Yeah, the empty space. Before we talk about it, really for real, I want to say I like this like the way Yukinobu did the panel on page 4 for Momo. It's like a speech bubble panel coming like off the screen, like all out of Ira's pocket to show
Yeah.
Momo like little squares.
Kind of
Yeah.
like magnifies her face to the same size as everyone else's, so that she can be
Yeah.
like right there reacting with them, but she's still small in the pocket. Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
The guy always finds a fun way work around with the paneling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's got it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we got pretty quick chapter, pretty fun. Not a whole lot going on, but I mean at the same time there is. Go ahead, Weep.
I'm just gonna say this. This was actually a lot of fun to read. They're fighting miniature enemies that Momo's gonna be the only person to really save their asses, as she has done in this chapter so far. And they're literally surrounded at all corners. They're at probably one of the biggest disadvantages they're at right now, and I'm curious to see how the hell they're gonna get out of it.
Just
Especially with
tiny
that cliffhanger.
gnomes like sewing like at Mach 5 to connect
Oh,
them
yeah.
like together and with other things. This is like really wacky but
Yeah,
creative.
crazy.
The gags
Yeah.
were kind of funny in this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I forgot that Ira, when she powered up, she had this like whole thing where she's like
Being noble.
Yeah, she's all super noble or whatever. I'm honorably. This is in this honorably shameful fashion, Takakura-sama or whatever. She talks
Yeah.
like funny. When
Yeah.
Talks like a fucking like samurai.
yeah,
Yeah, funny.
She's goofy.
I love
as hell.
how I love how off topic. I just like how like Ira and Ken literally have like altered personalities whenever they transform. Like Ken is just super mopey and depressed, and Ira is just incredibly honorable and like energetic.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gigi is a literal split personality with the evil eye that just does whatever the fuck he wants as a pure agent of chaos.
Yeah, the evil eye personality is like super like misanthropic, like kill all humans, destroy the world, like world domination plot type shit.
Yeah.
True
he's
definition
also-
of an evil spirit.
But he's also like super like innocent. Like he reminds me of Goku. He has that same kind of if Goku was evil personality. Because the only reason he's not trying to destroy the world is because he wants to fight Okuran.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like the most powerful guy will fight me like on Tuesdays. Okay, this planet can live until then.
Yeah, that's fun. But yeah, this whole section, I'm a lot of fun with the paneling and how they're showing different things to everybody.
I'm
I
surprised
think
he
it's-
didn't. Go ahead, my bad.
I just think it's hilarious how basically because of this, the entire chapter is like revolved around Ira straddling Okuran, and you just know Momo's pissed. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
she
yeah.
only reacts once, but you know she's just not having it.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, they basically confessed at the end of the previous arc.
Yeah, and they still gotta lock that in, but she's making it known like, yo, this is my guy, bro. Get off, yeah. Stop it, break it up, get this shit out of here. I did see some comments and somebody posted like this one page where Ira's on top of him was like, wow, this is the type of shit they be doing in Dandadan. It's like, okay, bro, you clearly have not read a single chapter, bro, because this is like not like
normal.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
happened a couple times in almost
Every now and
200
again. It's not as
chapters.
often as people think.
Yeah.
but it's like also it's not that serious.
Yeah.
No.
It's really
It
not
happened
that
at
deep.
the beginning, and then it really hasn't happened again since then. So
this is
Like
this
a
is
big
very
thing about
tame.
this, a big thing about this story is like teen angst and like awkward romance and how like teenagers like navigate like these like really awkward situations that everyone has found themselves in the earlier years of their life and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
and that's
mean,
just
like,
the way that Fujimoto Tatsuki decides to show it sometimes, for comedy, or I mean,
you said
Yukinobu
Fujimoto?
Tatsu,
Yeah.
Yukinobu Tatsu. Oops.
Yeah.
But
I was waiting to see if you
it's
caught
really
it.
it's not that deep. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at the beginning, I can see the complaints because it was very sexualized. But I feel like someone
Yeah.
told him to dial it back a bit, and since
Either
then,
that or he
you
saw that it
know,
wasn't necessary.
this is like it. This is the most there is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think like he realized it himself because his editor when he started was like, draw whatever the fuck you want. That was literally what he told Tatsu when he started. I remember I saw this in a post about an interview at one point. The editor just lets him draw whatever the hell he wants. So I think he just realized the story was telling he didn't need any of like the fan servicey uncomfortable stuff. Like that was at the first chapter.
I mean, I don't know. Fan service, like the definition, like by definition.
Yeah,
fan
that's
service,
the thing. I
just,
don't think the first chapter's
Yeah, I
last
don't
episode
even.
would
I
even
don't even.
constitute as that unless
yeah, like who is being like who is being serviced here? Like
We
who is
know
this
who.
for?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
know
like-
we
who
know
it's
who.
for.
Like, you know,
He
like
who
like,
shall
I feel
not
like-
be named.
oh, bro,
that's like a whole wider thing about fan
Yeah.
service in anime that can be talked about in
Yeah,
a whole freaking video essay,
we ain't gonna do
which
that.
we were not going to talk about here.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing that didn't happen in this chapter, and maybe we'll get it in next chapter. I hope we do, but like it would have been cool if the pygmies, since they're doing all this stitching, and we were just talking about how Tatsu does these cool transitions with the panels and stuff. It'd be really cool if like the pygmies stitch the panel together or something. But like we didn't get that in this chapter with all the stitching stuff. But it'd be dope if we get some sort of unique panel layout next chapter or something with that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, we
definitely
could.
getting
I'd
that
love to
next
see that.
chapter. I feel like that has to happen now, or I'm dropping it. No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah.
because it's like that's such a missed opportunity now that you bring it up. Like if it doesn't happen, because that would be
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
When it-
one of the things that I really do enjoy about Dandadan is the blending of the supernatural and sci-fi, because like when you think like gnomes and fairies, you automatically assume like fairy tales, supernatural,
Mhm.
something like that. But in Dandadan, they get put into an empty space, which is indicating that
Which
these gnomes
implies
or
aliens.
pygmies are aliens.
Yeah.
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 And so
Yeah, that is
yeah.
really cool.
I don't. It's
So-
not the first time he's done it either, because they had like back towards the beginning of the series with the first alien that attacked them in Momo's home. It was based off of a folktale legend, but it was actually an
yeah.
alien. And I
is
just
that
think
like
it's so
sumo-
cool.
that sumo alien thing?
Yeah, yeah.
But it was taken out by the like demon killing ward or whatever. Like
Yeah,
they got
and-
rid of it with the
They keep saying that like the supernatural and the sci-fi or the aliens are similar, which is why
Yeah.
the stories kind of mix up, and I just find that so cool.
yeah, it's like
It is in a
aliens
way
are
that's very
sort of-
interesting.
Yeah, it's like aliens are kind of like folklore demon type things in a way, but just from a different like they just have a different origin or something in this world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like a
interesting.
lot of the time it could have just always been aliens, but like our like human brains like interpreted it as like
Yeah, like magic and
supernatural magic shit. Yeah.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah. This double page we got with the pygmies all over the room. This is really cool. They're just hanging from the ceiling and they're notching up these knives and shit. These guys are violent, They're like
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
They got these like
catapults.
sharp circle mouths and these like big goggle eyes, and look at the schnoz on these things, bro. Like, what is this design, dude?
It
you
reminds me
guys
of
are
Toy
violent.
Soldiers.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
that movie?
Yes.
Oh, man, I remember.
That shit was dope. That was like 98,
Bro,
bro.
oh
old.
my god. The leader of the Gorgonites. What was his name, dude?
Bro, don't give me the lie. Yo, Gargamel or something. No, that's like copycats, right? Like,
Something
think
like that.
I think there's one obvious question that is prevalent now that the anime's out. Are they after Ken's banana?
nah.
Oh,
No,
God.
I think
They better
I had to
not
make
be
the
with
joke.
those crazy sharp teeth and that circle mouth.
I had to make the joke.
Bruh.
Better get away from my son's nanner
They
with
got
that mouth.
blades. They're like
They went
the-
through a
the-
lot to get it back.
The Serpoians couldn't get it, but we got another way. We got these knives, yeah.
Oh yeah, and speaking of these knives, okay, so I could have sworn that Momo's ability with these like psionic like appendages, these like hands that she like shoots out or whatever, I could have sworn she feels pain through these.
I think
don't-
Like,
so.
wasn't there a
I think to
time
an
where she
extent,
like
yeah.
blocked an attack like with these hands and was like, oh, and like feeling like felt like the she like felt the
Oh, yeah.
pain and like winced, but she just blocks like 5 daggers with it and it's just like, I got you, homie.
I think she can
Like,
feel like heat and everything too. Maybe she's just like her fingers. She's just buffed up now. She's got dummy calluses on these spectral hands.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Or it depends on the strength behind it.
sure, yeah.
yeah. But also in this case, Ira's like kicking some of these blades too. But I don't know. That's definitely something to look back and double check on.
Hmm.
Speaking of Ira, her hair gets lit on fire as the cliffhanger for this chapter.
Bro, these guys are violent.
Dude,
yeah,
what the
They really
fuck,
are.
bro?
they lit
Insanity.
her hair on fire.
I'm pretty sure that's the type of shit that the little there was like in Toy Soldiers, there was like a scene where they like did some similar shit. Like the really tiny toys or whatever, like ran up on like the humans in the kitchen and started like setting shit on fire and stabbing people with like kitchen knives and shit.
Bro, what
Yeah.
if this entire like arc is just like
A reference to that. I mean, shit,
yeah,
we
like-
just came out of the
God.
Jumanji arc, so like,
Yeah,
I
you know
can
what
see
I'm
that
saying?
happening, actually.
he was like, bro, I watched Toy Soldiers for the first time in like 20 years, and like I'm gonna write a Toy Soldier arc.
I need to
Yeah, I
rewatch
wouldn't put
that
it
movie.
past the boy. No, I'm definitely about to throw that on probably after this recording and fall asleep to that.
Bruh. Yeah, but this is crazy. I wonder how they're gonna get out of this because Ira's all sorts of wrapped up, and it's like, is she gonna pull a Sakura and cut her hair? type
That's
shit?
literally what I was just about to say, bro.
Like I don't
Imagine
need
if
this
she
hair.
just cuts her hair and it just grows back instantly as part of her
That's
powers.
also what I was
Yeah.
going to say. God damn it.
Get out of
I'm
my
I'm
psychic.
the same
head.
wavelength.
Charles, he got in my head.
I'm the juggernaut. Yeah,
Sharing the
But, I
same
mean,
brain
she-
cell.
she's picking up these tables and shit. And they're like, yeah, fuck your hair. We gonna set this whole shit on fire. You know, crazy chapter, but not. It's just them in fighting with these little dudes that they can't see. It's always tough to fight an enemy that you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they're on your shoulder, and it's like, okay, smack my shoulder. Did I get them? But you know, I want to know, like, since they can't see them, like if I do hit one that's on my shoulder, like, is it actually hurting it, or because I can't see it, does it not, like, does the damage not register? Type shit. Because we didn't see, like, when she said like they're on your shoulder right now, and he's like, okay, I think somebody punched their shoulder or something, but we didn't see like a page or anything where the pygmies are like, ow, you know, we don't know if they're
Yeah.
even feeling it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It might be like you know, it might be like they're too small that like, you know, they can't because like, you know, if like if an ant was like floating, like if you punched a fly,
Yeah.
like how much damage is that really gonna do like to a fly, like relative to, you know, like if you clap one between your hands, obviously it's cooked, but if you just like swung on a fly, it'd probably just be like, you just move it through space a little bit and it like just keeps flying. Like, what the fuck was that, dude?
I don't know, because that's almost like saying, like, if Godzilla punched you, you'd be okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess.
if you're in the air, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
helicopters, all good, bro. They just kind of keep going. They're like, oh shit, that big yellow lizard thing, not yellow, but that lizard thing kind of moved us out of there. Yeah, guess we'll just keep flying and buzzing around. Yeah, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, you know, how these guys, if they could be damaged, and what's going to happen next. But I think I'm kind of spent out on this chapter. It's not too big on, you know, stuff to talk about. Really, just cool pygmy
Yeah.
stuff stitched together. You know, Ira being silly, Momo getting jelly. You know, the
Yeah.
huge.
Textbook Yukinobu Tatsu with the zany like concepts and like weird like mechanical power application of like aliens and yokai and shit. Like this is what we come to this shit for. Is like you can
Yeah.
always count on it to like be like, holy shit, this is kind of abstract and weird and like wild. I've never seen anything like this before, but then it always ends up making like a lot of sense once you think about it too.
Yeah, they do got these sinks in here though, so maybe like with the fire going, maybe like Okarun will like kick the fucking the faucets off or something, and it'll just start spraying, or maybe the sprinkler system will go off or something. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna get out of this without the other kids like finding a way into the empty space. But
Oh wait, hold on. On page 17, Momo has like a psionic like shield ball around like Okarun. Have we ever seen her like use her ability in a way that was like completely separated from her body like this?
I don't
Because she's
remember.
in Ira's pocket right now, like, right? Like,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
Ira's like standing like, I don't know, 10 feet away from Okaroon with this little like ball of energy around him. I could have
No,
sworn that like it always came from Momo and was connected to her, unless I'm misremembering.
no, Momo is on Okaroon's shoulder right now.
Oh,
Is she?
whoops.
Yeah,
Okay,
Is
where
she?
where
Oh
that?
yeah. Like
Oh, you're
before
right.
the
You're
double
right. You're
spread.
right.
Yeah,
okay,
You
okay,
right.
okay.
You right.
Good
You
catch.
right.
Good catch. You
Don't ever
better.
correct me again, but you're right.
every time I'll do it.
No.
Oh man. So all right, I'm good on what was that, chapter 171. What about you, Weave?
I think I'm good.
Okay. What about you, Traff?
I'm good. Skeet it out.
Knots.
I'm Gucci.
All right, that's going to do it for Dandadan chapter 171. We are all skeeted out. All right, and now we jump into Gachiakuta chapter 115, The Cleaners. And this is a pretty girthy chapter, to say the least. But
Uh-oh.
Traffy, let's see what you got to say.
All right. So I'm gonna skip past the like first 2 pages just because there's something I want to talk about a lot with this. So Corvus finally comes back into the story. My goat. I'm glad he's back. And
Right on time too, because we were talking about what that motherfucker was gonna do, like
Right?
with the Tamsy shit, like
Yeah.
like last review or something like that. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and like as soon as he's revealed back in the story, he just has a stare down with Tamsy asking
Yeah.
about the shoes out of his vault. I
Yeah,
feel like he knows.
immediately big bros his ass. Yeah.
He's gotta know. Like he's questioning him, but that leads into why is he not acting on it? Like what is he expecting to happen out of this? Does he need some kind of information out of Tamsy? Is he just playing along for Rudo's sake?
So
He
yeah,
got
my
some
bad,
kind
go
of long. He got some kind of long game cooking for sure.
Yeah. I think
He's
it's
definitely gonna
a
be the smartest
long-
character in this entire series.
I think it's a long game, and I got kind of an idea towards the end that I'll say about, like, when we start talking about towards the end of the chapter, where I'll
Mhm.
go about it. But yeah, were you still rolling, Traffy?
Yeah, well, I mean that was really it. If you got something, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
just
I don't like how you kind of glazed over my wife, semi you like that, but yeah, she's here. She's in the
Yeah.
chapter. I love
Hey.
she
her.
fine.
Hey,
So
we've seen her more than we've seen Corvus.
Oh yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
a
that
good
man's
thing.
got aura.
yeah. So one thing I will say before I go back to the beginning, Corvus, this man has the guys, the people who like guys, the guys and the girls that like guys or whatever, they're gonna be all over this guy when he's animated because he's got
I cannot wait.
he's got a very slim waist here, and I feel like
The
people
thirst
are gonna
trap
be saying
posts online
stuff.
are gonna be awesome.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
shit is snatched. This is Black Gojo right here.
Yeah, he came out and I was like, damn, bro, got like he thin as hell, bro. And his clothes, like his outfit is like super baggy. It makes me wonder, like, I mean,
You
he's got
just
that
know
eye.
he's swinging in there.
Okay,
What were
I
you saying?
was,
Oh, my bad, my bad.
I
No,
was
no.
not going anywhere near
I thought
that.
I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were
Mentally, I was not.
I went for the alley oop and I
Bro,
missed. My bad. My bad.
Oh my, you missed crazily. You jumped over the backboard, bro.
I mean, you said it was a girthy chapter. I didn't
Oh
know.
my god. Yeah. So anyway, I was just gonna get into his clothes. So like something that I was thinking was, we don't see his arms, and I guess they're not like folded. Normally when you see a guy like in One Piece, they pull up and it's like some, admiral guy. They got like their arms crossed and the jackets over their shoulders. But I feel like his arms are maybe behind his back or something. Unless he's got like super small arms and they are actually in his sleeves and they're just short. But
Just got the
T-Rex
fucking
arms.
T-Rexes.
he got
Yeah.
T-Rex arms. His outfit, he reminds me of like a Def Jam Vendetta character. He's got like the super baggy jeans and they're like baggy over his shoes. He got his cuffs are big. Like
Yo, the cuff game is crazy.
cuff
I
game
didn't
is
even
insane.
peep.
It feels like this maybe like some of this maybe wasn't his either. Like I was gonna say, maybe he has an ability that allows him to grow. Like his body like gets bigger or whatever, so he fills out these clothes. Either that or like it's just like fashion.
I think he's
that people.
got like that like all-seeing eye on the back of his
Yeah.
fade though. So it's like
Yeah. So it's like that's a thing.
He's buff as hell. Like if you go forward in the chapter when he's reaching out to pour the sugar into the coffee, you can see his arm. and
True.
he's
Oh
buff as
yeah,
shit.
that nigga
Yeah,
got
you're right.
tree trunks,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, you're right.
Holy
Okay.
fuck.
So yeah, the other thing then is just like
Pythons.
the coat still seems too big. So I think maybe like there was maybe like another person was the captain before, and like they just passed the coat along to him, kind of deal.
Maybe.
Like I was thinking maybe the
Hand-me-downs
clothes.
make a lot of sense for this like trash world that they're into.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I was just like, maybe this was given to him, as the like previous guy like died or
Oh,
whatever. He just passed the
I just
torch.
remembered something.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You think it'll be like the pen from that the givers from Graffiti Town have, where it's the same thing, but it's passed down from person to person?
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe. But like, I don't know. We haven't seen anything that kind of implies, leadership being passed down. And like we still don't know much about Corvus at all. But I mean he's
We don't
cool
even
as
know his
fuck.
abilities.
Yeah, but something I do want to point out is that clearly this chapter begins and it's the next day, because last chapter, when Tamsi, remember we had that moment with Tamsi and Rudo in the hallway and they were talking and he was kind of like leading him on, but then like he got in the elevator. As he was leaving, he said goodnight. And then Rudo was like, I wonder where he's going this time of night. And now, this chapter opens, it's a new day, and it's a new day, you can tell because uh Delman is screaming and Tamsi's like, it's early, could you turn it down a bit? And so like
true.
they're starting a new mission. So Tamsi has gathered these guys for some sort of mission and she's like, okay, I can ask Teen Child or whatever. And so like Tamsi has gathered people and he's about to go and do something. So it's interesting to see, a character like him. It's like, I guess I thought we probably would see him in the Doll Festival arc, maybe at least sneaking around or something, but he's gathering people to go and do something different. Maybe he's trying to take away some of the power from the cleaners. Like, so while, so that there's a lot of people away while something else goes on. Maybe he has the Raiders come here or something if he's got some sort of allegiance. It's
Or
like,
maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Hmm.
maybe he's just establishing an alibi if he's
yeah,
supposed to
that's
be
what I was
with
going
them.
to say
Oh,
too.
okay,
Like,
Okay,
what
yeah.
if
yeah.
this is just like a regular ass mission, so
Ooh.
that like, he's like, doing something like innocuous, like on the side of like his background schemes,
Yeah.
so that he's
Didn't you
not
mention it?
only doing like background schemes all the time and getting caught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
Yeah.
point. Good
What
point.
if he's doing this while he could simultaneously, like we saw with that Amo flashback where he was able to control his vines to create like a puppet from the distance?
Yeah,
What if he's able
yeah.
to do it to such a big degree that he could be off doing a mission, doing
Yeah,
his
it's like
stuff, while
if he could do
simultaneously
that,
sending that guy out during that festival
if
arc?
he can do that from miles and miles away, then that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like the string has to be attached, but like that would be a thing that makes sense. But like either way, weird things happening and Tamsi, being away is just perfect. Like even if he isn't involved in the arc now, it looks better that he isn't like it looks better that he's away and people know where he is when like the time
Yeah.
comes to question him or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I know. But yeah, Corvus getting up in his face and he's like, the looks like someone took some shoes out of my vault. Like he this is
yeah,
this is my shit, bro. What are you doing going in my vault?
yeah.
You don't take shit from the boss.
The subtext is dummy loud on this page. What page is this? Fucking
4.
on page 4, yeah, where he's just
Yeah.
like staring him down. Like you can just tell that like between the lines, he's like, I know
I
that
know
you're
what
on
you're doing.
fuck shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's
I got
going
my
on
eye
with
on
you,
you.
buddy? Yeah,
Yeah. I think he really has just been keeping an eye. I think he knows exactly what Tamsi is up to. And it's just he hasn't crossed the line yet to the point where he feels like he needs to get involved, but he's okay with like coming in and putting his finger on the whatever, filling them out and letting them shake a little bit, getting
yeah,
So
Tamsi to sweat.
my
yeah.
my main thing here is, so later in this chapter, at the end of the chapter, actually, we find out the true purpose of the cleaners, which is to solve the mysteries of the world.
Hmm.
And so traveling from the lower world to the upper world is a part of that mystery. And so if he knows that, I mean, it definitely looks like he knows that Tamsi is able to do that. Um, well, maybe not. I'm gonna assume he does though. If he knows that Tamsi took Amo, there's probably a lot more that he does know. Um, so if he does know that Tamsi can travel between worlds, he's most likely trying to watch until he slips so he can find out that information, which is, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer kind of deal. So
Type shit,
he's,
type shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just keeping them there so he can keep an eye on him. But the one thing, another thing I do want to point out for this chapter is he was in his room alone for 4 days, and it's not the first time he's done this, as we can see
Yeah.
from their conversation. And he says he just needs some time alone to process his thoughts. What is he doing in that time?
He's seeing through that eye
Yeah.
on his through his fade.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can use that to see, because in that last when they were in the trash beast, when there was a point where they like called for backup or whatever, and he was like, hold on, let me like figure out where they at, and then like a couple chapters went by and then reinforcements showed up. So I think he just has some kind of like all seeing eye, but it just takes a while. So he has some way of seeing the field and things, but I guess there's just some things that slipped his sight. So like maybe yeah, he can see everything, but like if he's looking at, if he's looking like 3 miles away, he can't see what's happening like a foot away because he's focused on what's happening 3 miles away type shit.
Yeah,
So
or like it's probably like layers to like the ability to like probably in combat like that helps. That's like a spatial awareness kind of like advantage to where like you can't sneak up on him, and he literally has eyes on his back that like helps his positioning in like close quarters combat situations. But then also he could like has another aspect of the ability where that probably has like more stipulations and conditions to it, to where he has to be locked in a room, and like he probably like Yato was saying, he probably doesn't have access to like his normal eyes because he's like using that eye on his fade to like see like across great distances, or like even
it's kind of like how if
yeah,
you're looking through binoculars, like you can't see that somebody's sneaking up on you type
yeah,
shit.
your
Yeah.
peripherals are like not
Yeah,
available. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know.
Um,
But like that's also like it just seems like an ability that's like ingrained in him. Like unless his two earrings together are putting this like eyeball like on the back of his head, like some sort of projection. I mean, he still should have like a tool, or a divine instrument or whatever, because this is just on his head. It's not. This isn't like jewelry. He's not wearing this eyeball. It just seems
yeah,
like a
maybe it's like
tat
a
or something.
tattoo or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the tattoo's his trash, his treasure.
yeah, he's like
yeah,
but why wouldn't he have more tats though?
yeah.
He could.
Maybe yeah. He's gonna rip open this fucking suit and he's just dummy tat. He's just whiskey
Yeah,
leaf under
but
there.
we've seen these 36-inch pythons that he's got connected to his shoulders, and there's no
Yeah.
sleeve or nothing.
True. Who knows? Well,
I
I can't wait for him to get active.
I
Yeah,
love how like body language is a huge part of this chapter, because you
yeah,
have the introduction to the chapter and it's Corvus standing over Tamsi menacingly, and then you
yeah,
go to further in the chapter and he gets down on one knee to talk to Rudo.
Yeah.
And
mhm,
it's like, is this a subservient down on one knee, or a like I'm getting on equal footing with you? We're equals in this.
To me, when that happened, it felt like a sort of scene that I might have seen out of something else. Like it kind of felt like to me like he's happy that Rudo realizes, like in an alternate reality, like say Rudo was a king or something, and it's like Rudo or a prince, and Rudo finally accepted it. And this to me looked like Corvus going, I'm happy you finally accepted your role or whatever, and I'm here to serve you. Like you, like deep down, really like Rudo, you're the head of this shit, and like I'm
yeah. He probably
offering.
knows. He probably like understands the situation with his ancestor, and his
Yeah,
ancestor was like a really big deal. And it's like, bro, you don't know that you're like a monarch, low key. Like
yeah,
you're royalty, gang. Like
yeah. To
we've
him,
been
he
waiting for
is.
your ass, G.
That's exactly how I was feeling. And like, so just to go back to it at the end and how I was saying, like, I think Corvus does know who, like, I think he knows like 80% of Tamsi's deal, but he just doesn't know like how he's doing. Like, I don't think he knows like how he flew or whatever, but I think there's two factions of people who worshipped or like believed or followed Rudo's ancestors, and Corvus is
Urbrek,
from
right?
one. Yeah, Cerberek. I think Corvus is from one where it's the good guys or whatever, and they're like trying to find the mysteries, and then Tamsi is from another faction that's like fanatical and violent and shit like that. And he knows that Tamsi is a part of that faction, so he's kind of like keeping them in check, but also not revealing his own cards.
And
Like
And
then
that.
might have a third faction, which was maybe one guy, Regto, the one that just keeps stuff out of shit. Because in this chapter, it seems like uh, Regto might have known something, which is why he had the Watchman gloves. And correct me, it's towards the end of the chapter. It seems to imply that the book Tamsa used might have been Regto's in the first place.
yeah, because he stole it from him. He
Yeah, he
has that
stole it
book.
from him. I
Yeah.
don't remember if that was if we've seen it in the beginning of at the beginning of the story. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Since I
it
saw
was
the
there.
first couple of chapters.
It was
Okay.
there. We
Okay.
saw a guy pick up the book, and then they flashed back to it a couple chapters ago when we were seeing
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Tamsi stuff. But yeah, I think Recto was probably part of the same faction that that Corvus is. So I think they're in the same place. But like people were just kind of keeping they're just letting Rudo find out first without like overflowing him with information. So I think Rudo these guys all kind of like look up to and worship whatever Rudo could potentially be and like his ancestors and stuff. So I think Recto was part of that too. And Recto just kind of like raised him as a son, but secretly like Rudo was
So
he
It's
knew
like the
Rudo.
reincarnation of some like crazy
Successor.
dude or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. It's like I
That's
gotta make sure that you grow up and your life is fine because you are gonna be the president one day type shit.
that's what I love about like this chapter is that's never explicitly said. That whole conversation came because Corvus got on one knee in front of him, and we
Yeah.
were
Right.
able to pull
Yeah.
that much information from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody's kind of like giving him hints too. He's like, because Tamsi's like, the thing that you're trying to find, how to put the two worlds together or whatever. That shit's right in front of you. And then Corvus says basically the same thing. You hold pieces of information in your hands. Maybe they're warped and you can't see their true form yet. But if you keep fighting, I promise they'll take shape and reveal themselves to you. So it seems like a lot of people know what he wants, but they can't just explicitly tell him. Well, Corvus probably can't tell him, but Tamsi won't tell him, obviously, because Tamsi's like kind of playing the game and also isn't like his friend type shit. But I really think that there's two, like there's a lot of people, like a lot of different forces or whatever at play. But I think Tamsi and Corvus are both followers of this same Cerebret guy, but just opposing, like they have different viewpoints on how, like maybe like kind of like Rokuhira from Kagurabachi,
I
where it's
was
like
just thinking that.
Sojo. Yeah, Sojo had one way of interpreting, Chihiro's dad's like swords and his message and stuff, and Chihiro looked at it a completely different way. But they both like love and respect this man, but they view their life and their work completely different. So I think that's what's going on, and I think I don't think Tamsi knows that Corvus is that deep in it. Like Tamsi probably is like, this guy's kind of weird. Maybe, he's on my ass. Does he know? What does he know? But I think Corvus knows a lot and is just kind of okay with, filling him out and making him sweat, getting his boots to shake a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
And
the
oh, sorry, go ahead, Traffy.
I was just gonna say the big question here is was Corvus watching Rudo's conversation with the information broker and that's why he knows about the choker, or does he just know because he's always watching everything?
I think he just
Could be either
knows.
or.
Yeah,
I think
it
he
could
just,
be like an instinctual like vibe, like kind of like
Maybe.
thing, like through other like information, he's just like being really safe about like certain things because he's just like that intuitive.
yeah. I do like
But it
how
probably has to do with the eye, though.
I do like how him and Tamsi kind of both like went to Rudo on the same type shit, but like Corvus is doing it in a better way. Like you can tell Corvus, like Tamsi asked him, did you find out what you wanted to know? And Rudo's like nervous and doesn't want to tell him, and he lies to him. And like Corvus asked him, go ahead and I want to know. Would you mind telling me about what you gained on your trip? And he looks at him. Corvus is kind of like filling him out. Corvus feels people out, man.
Yeah,
He's like
he
trying to
lets
see,
you
and
cook.
then yeah, and he can see that like Rudo is kind of nervous and doesn't, he can tell that Rudo has information. And instead of putting Rudo in a weird situation for a long time, he's like, you don't have to tell me everything you learn because he knows what the deal is really. Like he don't know the information, but he's more interested in what Rudo's plan is than what he found out. Versus
Right,
Tamsi being like, I need to know what you know because this could be bad for me.
right.
And I don't know, he's just giving them really, good big bro or unc type vibes, saying
Yeah, big
sometimes
unk
saying
shit.
things, saying shit out loud can help you sort your thoughts out, so let's just talk it out. And he's giving Rudo the floor to talk, and nobody else really did that.
Was our
Yeah,
culture being studied? Did he make him to specifically be the Unk character?
Unc type shit.
uh, but like I really like how this chapter kind of like reinforces the ideas that we had in our conversation, maybe like last review or the review before, where Tamsi has this like Rudo obsessed like evil like scheme plot going on in the background that seems to be like a personal thing between like him and Rudo that Rudo's going to have to figure out with like the help of like his immediate like team of friends or whatever, like the main cast that we like have kind of been following so far. But we were talking about how like eventually the um the motives of like everybody else in the story like will eventually like overlap when it comes to Tamsi because of like Tamsi's ability to like transcend, or to travel like between worlds or whatever. Like we think that this is something that like Rudo's got to like handle, but then like no, like Corvus has his reasons for, wanting to like find out what Tamsi's doing. I can't remember exactly what we were saying about it before, like right now, but it was like there's just like the possibility that there will be like some kind of like overlap like in this way to where it's like, no, it makes sense for us to stop Tamsi too along with you. Like this isn't just your fight, like because Tamsi's doing some shit that's like relevant to like what we're trying to figure out, ourselves. And Corvus like dead ass like kind of confirms that at the end where it's like the cleaners were formed to solve the mysteries of our world. So like I'm gonna go back and listen to that conversation to see exactly what we said before, but I just remember us having that conversation in this chapter kind of like confirmed that that's the direction that the story is going, which was really cool.
And I'm looking forward to it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love shit like this.
I can't wait to see where this goes. It's a really interesting chapter. Another thing that I really liked is that you don't often get these type of moments where Rudo is like, sometimes you need to be relentlessly greedy, just like the Raiders. And he's like, I hate to say it, but I want to be like Zodal, and keep a cool head like him. And it's like admiring your enemies or your at least opponents is kind
Yeah.
of a big deal.
Yeah. I feel like it's not too often that
Character
we see.
development,
Yeah, I feel like
maturity.
I feel like it's not too often that we see like a main character like say something like that.
Yeah.
Especially a main character.
Yeah.
But the type of series this is and the world they're in, it makes sense why Rudo would end up thinking this way after his encounters with Zodal.
Yeah, this was a good moment for his character arc for sure. It's like just like very like tangible growth in his character or whatever, or change, like progression, whatever you want to call it, like that you can like grab hold to. Me like this is an example of character development for sure. It's not like subtle. It's like very in your face. Like
you can tell Corvus is like looking for that, like in this panel where he's like, I just want to be friends with Amo. Like Corvus he was hoping that these are the things that Rudo would say. It's like he's happy, he's like proud. I'm glad you turned out this way, even though your life has been shit. You're the guy who was raising you to, as your dad or whatever was killed, and you got thrown down here. You still are a good kid, like with a good
but you're
heart or whatever.
adapting. But you're adapting. You're like
definitely
acclimating to your new environment in a very noticeable way.
Yeah,
I
not
like
letting the
how-
world beat him down.
I like how these chapters kind of reflect how like Corvus is, although he's not in the story too much, he's like the angel on Rudo's shoulder, whereas Tamsi's like the devil trying to take the worst
shit.
out of him.
Cool way.
Yeah, damn.
So it's a cool contrast.
Oh yeah. Something that you guys might not remember, but I know in the last chapter I miscorrectly said something. So there was last chapter we were talking because we missed a week or whatever. So in the last chapter review, I mentioned how Rio was talking to Kuro, and when he offered to give her information on her mother and she turned it down, she was like, why don't you tell Rio about what that thing really was at Tori? And so I forgot, and I just misunderstood what was going on. So in that last episode I said Tori was the trash beast, but Tori was the place that they went to, the no man's land that they went to, and they raced Kuro, and they found the I forget what the thing was called, the like giant monster that was in the swamp that Rudo like had the box. He turned it into a Cerberus dog and ate it. And she's saying, why don't you tell Rudo what that thing really was? And I thought she was talking about the trash beast. I thought that was Tori, but it was that guy, the like gate guardian. So that thing is something. I mean, it had Rudo's like a letter from Rudo's ancestor, so it clearly is like important. But like she knew that he knew that it was more than just like some sort of area guardian in that place that had Rudo's like ancestor information. So just wanted to correct myself on that because it wasn't the trash beast. It was that like gate guardian guy.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then he mentioned it here when he's like at the Tori no man's land, he found his ancestors' last words. So big character development chapter for Rudo. I love that we are kind of reestablishing his his goals and resolve, because he hasn't talked about it in a while. And like, this is one of those things where in a lot of other manga people would be like, so what's the point now? What are we actually doing? The main character doesn't have a goal. Because Rito hasn't specifically mentioned that he wants to like get revenge or find out things about the surface in a while. So like, here it's nice to see that he's like, I have to find out what he knew and what happened to my people and about the sphere, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good chapter.
very good.
Was a girther.
Yeah. Also, we
Mhm.
learned that Rudo doesn't like black coffee.
Shame.
Oh,
I don't either.
And also we found out that Rito doesn't like black people.
Oh God.
That's
Oh
what I thought.
no. Yo. Oh,
But I
Okay.
thought that's what, I don't know why I thought that's what you were
Yeah.
gonna say,
Hey,
but
this
it's because I'm like looking at. I'm just like on the page where he's like sitting in front of like Corvus too, so it's just like, oh shit.
Doesn't
Are
like this
there
guy.
like just outwardly racist manga? You know what? We don't need to have this conversation.
Yeah,
I
what
am
are you trying to
curious
say,
though.
man?
Yeah, you're right. They out there
Um,
though. Maybe Weeb knows about those. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
so
Hey.
anyway, so yeah, just I guess one other thing is that apparently they can put in requests to take things out of the vault, and so they're like, I guess, considering. I don't know if they formally said that like Amo was a member now, but there's like, you got to file paperwork to take things out of the vault, and it's okay as long as someone from the cleaners can get it, so it's authorized.
Well,
Shows the
that was
competence. It shows the competence of like Tamsi too, to like make sure that he goes through all of the appropriate channels to like make any
Yeah.
move that he needs to, like for
Yeah,
his schemes or whatever, in case someone does try to run up on him. Like, because if he would have just been like caught with his pants down doing some weird shit, it would have been like, oh, you're an idiot. Okay, how did you
Yeah.
even get this far in the first place? But like, he's on point. You know what
He's
I
not
mean?
He's
Ninja,
cracked,
yeah.
but he's
Yeah,
smart.
Yeah, he's smart as hell, and he makes sure that all of the bases are covered, and he like removes all of the breadcrumbs from the trail, and that's just
Yeah.
what I love in antagonists and
A
villains.
crafty and intelligent antagonist is definitely some of the best.
Yeah.
Corvus is just here like, you did a good job, man. I know you won't fuck shit, but I'm glad you wipe your own ass, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how this chess game plays out, type shit.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that's gonna be it for what is this, chapter 115. What do you think, Knox?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I said everything I wanted to say.
Okay. What about you, Weeb?
I think I'm good.
And you got anything, Trav?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, that's gonna be it for Gachiakuta chapter 115. Let us know if we forgot
Gosh.
anything in the comments. All right, and now we are going to jump into Galaxias chapter 9. Happy that we didn't have a break this week. Pretty decent chapter after the last one, but I want to see what Knox has to say about the series as a whole.
Oh, as a whole. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I guess I haven't really said words about this manga yet on the show. I'm loving Galaxias so far now that I'm caught up, finally. I think
Yeah.
that the world is very interesting. I think that like the lore that we've gotten so far is like really like fresh and I think it has a lot going for it. There's a lot of charm here. I think that like this race of like dragon folks or whatever they're called or whatever is like a really good idea for not just like lore reasons but also like power system reasons. I think that the way that like all of the powers operate have been like really interesting so far. I think that the mysteries are really well laid out and like are compelling enough to like keep me, wanting to see what happens next to get these answers. And I think that the character designs are really on point, and I think that everyone that's kind of like shown up and had an impact on the story has been like really interesting and good for the progression of the story. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's only 9 chapters in, but like I love Nereid and what's the old
Yo.
girl's name again?
Geo.
Yo.
Geo. Yeah, I love their dynamic together. I think the comedy is like well done. It's not like,
Mhm.
it's not too much. It doesn't like take away from like the tone in any kind of way. When it needs to be serious, it can do that. But the gags are also like really well placed and thought out.
Were you feeling, when you were reading it, were you feeling like One Piece Hunter vibes?
Low key, yeah. I mean, like, how could you not when you have
Yeah.
like a dad that abandoned you, and you're like trying to go find him on this like big, adventure or whatever, and like trying to find out why, your dad would do something like that, and like it's you can't help but think of Hunter x Hunter at the very least. But yeah, there's a lot of One Piece there too.
I think of Fairy Tail in terms of like the main duo's like dynamic.
Yeah. It's just good another one to compare it to. Sorry to put you on
Yeah.
the spot there, Knox, but we needed to hear some words from you, man, on
Oh,
It's
Galaxias.
all
yes.
good. I hope I did a good job of like articulating those thoughts on the spot.
Yeah. So
But
something we did we talked about 2 chapters ago. I think it was Weeb that brought it up was there was a moment in I think chapter 7 that felt really weird. It was another one of those like two characters having a conversation about something that they should already know for the sake of the audience, like Chalk and Schmidt were like explaining
Yep.
how dragon powers work, and it
Yeah.
was like,
yeah,
yeah,
And it
the
was like
dragon.
right, and I think it was done because like the author like knew they were gonna like go on a extended break because that was a very short 13-page chapter, and they were
Yeah,
gone for a month. So I
it
guess they wanted to
was.
get some stuff out of the way.
It
But
was.
even
I
then,
don't know.
we all
it
kind of
also
talked about how stilted it was.
it makes sense for like the conversation to have had. I can see like how like that like could come across as like overly expository. Like, why would these two characters that should already know these things be
Yeah,
saying these things to each other, like type shit, like we brought up, like in our reviews on this channel a couple times now. I want to say across multiple series, but just the fact that that's like the mad scientist character whose role is to understand things on like the highest level possible, like breaking it down, to a character that, is a lot more about strength and maybe not as much about intellect, being like, all right, Doc, so, apparently this is how like everything works, right? Like this is what
Yeah.
you were saying to me and shit. Like it makes enough sense for the conversation to exist without it feeling like, too immersion damaging. But like I can definitely like I won't argue with that criticism, I don't think.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so back to chapter 9. So we jump back to Yerkes. What is he, commander? What is he, an admiral? I don't remember what
Dragon Knight,
he's.
just
Dragon
plain
He's
Knight.
a
Dragon Knight.
fucking jobber, is what he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's
Nigga
funny?
got one shot in the first
You know what's actually funny?
chapter.
What's funny about Yerkes? His power is OP as hell
I
Yeah,
don't
from what we
remember
saw in
what that
chapter
shit
1.
was, but he
scale
got
enhancement.
blasted. Oh,
Like
okay.
he was
Scale
able to control the
enhancement.
ground, like the earth, people's
Well,
skeletal
yeah, anything
structures.
that he touches, he can like enhance the scale of.
Okay. Oh yeah, he did
Yep.
like a Earth prison type of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but he also
Yeah.
Okay.
like on Gio's dad, he like grabbed him by the ribs or some shit and made his bones like bigger so that they like broke through his skin and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like bleeding out from that.
He got like
hmm
that shit that Geo did when she spit the bullet at him and then fucking banged that shit with the butt of the gun. That was
That
cool.
was
That was
so raw.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that the author like gave her like that much to do in the first chapter, because like in my
hmm
mind as I was reading it, I was like, oh, here we go. She's about to get like folded by this like jobber ass douchebag, and then fucking Nereid's gonna have to like pull up and like save her. But like before he pulled up to save her, she like did a bunch of tight shit first. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
hmm
you're not like, damsel in distress, save me, big boy, like type
Yeah.
character.
So
Look,
with that aspect, I do hope like because now that we've gone further, we 8 chapters further from that point, she hasn't done much since then. Like she had that moment, and then she's had probably a couple other like cute or fun moments, but
Yeah.
she hasn't had any other like hunter moments where it's like she's really the all-star. And it's like I kind
Yeah.
of for a while reading Undead Unluck, I kind of felt like Fuko was pushed into that role. Fuko's definitely more of a a
Right.
person herself now, but it was like for a
Yeah.
while it felt like the Andy show, and I was very happy when Andy got taken out of the picture for a while. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think that like I
spoilers.
think that there's a I think that there's like a little bit of balance inside of like what the two characters like bring to conflict and conflict resolution in this series so far, whereas like
yeah,
Nereid is obviously this like wildly powerful dragon folk, with a lot going on like ability wise, but then what it seems like Geo kind of brings to the table is, a little bit more on the intellect level. She's like savvier with her words. She like came up with like the plan in that one chapter where like the guys were arguing about the construction beef or whatever that shit was. And she
yeah,
like pulled up with like, a costume and had like this, idea to like have the little kid like, ride up on the raid's back. And they were going to like, introduce, you know, these ideas or whatever, to get everyone to get along and whatnot. Like that was all Geo. I'm pretty sure that was like her plan. But then they also got
Yeah.
the little kid involved, and he had his own little character moment too. And then at
Mhm.
the very end, Nereid like grabbed him and jumped, you know, like over like a ravine or something off of a cliff to like show like this huge like landscape double page spread to like, you know, finally drive the nail home, and like then everything ended up being okay. But I think that like the balance comes from, you know, what Geo is able to do like with her intellect and her words, whereas like Nereid is just like a meathead who will just like beat the shit out of you. So I think that
Yeah.
I think that
I
there's
feel like
there's a good balance there, but I definitely want to see Geo do a little bit more stuff like physically, even
Yeah.
though it might not make as much sense considering she doesn't have the main power, you know, in this. She doesn't use the power system or whatever. But
Yeah.
so it would be weird if she had a lot to do physically despite not being a dragon folk or whatever.
But
Mhm.
still, like the thing she did with the gun was cool. So like even if
Yeah,
it was just to stun like a bad guy for a moment, it
right.
would be nice to see her get somewhat involved,
I
and not
agree.
just have narrate like beat the shit out of the other guy. So
I agree with that.
hopefully with this situation now that they're separated, like we'll get to see, obviously we're gonna see some fighting, but I hope we go back and forth a bit and see like Geo kind of going and talking to these town people, and kind of maybe sparking up some sort of revolution or whatever, getting these people to take up arms against their oppressors and shit like that or something.
Hmm.
So I had two things. First off, Hatesaka knows what they're doing because they introduce Kerner, which appears to be some type of bondage type chick, and her first panel is like her
Spider dragon.
sticky hands,
She
and I was
she
like,
can
Yeah.
web me. She can web
She
me
just
up
got
any
done
time
hanging
of the
out with
week.
me. That's why.
Huh?
Oh, I mean, what were you
Oh,
saying, Weeb?
What we say weeb is crazy. These like spiky things are interesting because that doesn't make me think like on her tail. That doesn't make me think spider at all. Like the
no.
Yeah,
weird
well,
crosses.
same with that like one like crazy like Tim Burton like character design like villain that
Kangaroo woman.
narrate. No.
Bronze, the
Yeah,
sludge dragon.
bronze.
Yeah,
That motherfucker like
Oh
he's
yeah,
got like a peacock tail, but his ability is like
sludge.
not
Sludge.
peacocky.
yeah,
Yeah,
exploding sludge. Yeah, that was a weird one too. So I guess yeah, the designs of the tail don't always have to matter.
I
yeah.
mean, hers kind of do because you can see like the wrappings on it, but like the crosses sticking out of it, that is where it loses me.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's
I
probably
don't
just like
understand
this,
that.
like part of like the dragon-esque scales, maybe.
Something like that.
I never seen dragon scales that look like that, but we're
True.
gonna
Some
we're gonna
dragon
roll
designs
with it.
have like the frill spikes.
No,
Okay,
no, I'm
maybe
kidding.
it just be, yeah. Dragons do be having little spikes on their tail, but anyway, yeah. Yerks, he meets up with Kerner, and she finished webbing up some criminals. They found some illegal smugglers that made a town or whatever, and she's
Showing the captain's like scale of damage
bro.
without actually showing
And,
the captain was
you know
like
what's funny?
that's a
He
really good idea in my opinion, and that helps hype up the eventual like
not only that,
introduction of the captain whenever we eventually get there.
yeah, and also it stated that she said he unsheathed his sword, not used
Yeah,
his
baby.
dragon powers. So it could just be his just raw physical strength did all that, and that wasn't even his actual ability.
And for
Well,
a
unless
few
he's the
minutes too.
sword dragon.
That would be cool if that was the
Yeah.
case.
I mean,
So
yeah, but he could have just have like sword powers related to
Yeah,
his
true,
dragon
but
folkness.
I think
Yeah.
it'll either way it's cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
it's
It
it's
is
a
a possibility
crazy
though. Yeah.
it's a crazy landscape change to like Yerkes thought it was a road. Like he's like, so this
Yeah,
wasn't just a road. Like bro cut the fucking like he cut every like even the ocean is cut like
Yeah.
so it's
yeah.
like it's like the when people were doing the fucking is this cake or not? Like the ocean is cut like a cake. Like is this really the ocean or is it cake? Like like everything is just sliced. How did he do this
Yeah.
with
I'm
his
loving
sword?
it.
Yeah,
So
seeing this damage, but then like not showing the dude himself is just like now I'm like, oh dude, I can't wait to see this motherfucker die. Like I just think that was such a good idea.
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
also like Yerkes doesn't know because he's like what a monster, and he's surprised by this level of damage. He's just like that's the
Yeah,
captain for you,
it's
and
probably because he's never seen him in action.
yeah.
maybe
Like
Looking
he's
at
never
this like
actively
piece,
seen him.
looking at this piece of rock like sliced in half, and like the surface is just like a mirror. I'm just like, oh my god, dude, this dude is raw as shit. I haven't even seen him yet.
yeah, like how crazy
He's
are
like,
those
that's a
cuts?
rock, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Imagine he's
nah.
like that old. Imagine if he just ends up being revealed to be like something like that old man from Sakamoto Days, where he's just
Oh,
a monster with a
Takamura.
sword. Takamura.
That'd be dope.
Oh
Imagine it's
shit.
like that, where
I
he
want to
seems
see.
unassuming, but
I
just
can't.
exudes raw aura and is just like a monster with a sword that
Not
no one
even.
can seemingly beat,
Not
at
even
least on a
him.
fair turf.
Not even just him, but I'm
Hmm.
I'm ready to see what his sword even looks like. Like, what if he pulls out like a
Oh,
butter knife, yeah, like on some
oh
Mihawk
man, that'd be
shit.
hilarious. Also,
Oh
Mihawk. Yeah,
shit.
that'd be
Like,
great.
like this
God, I would
is
love that.
yeah, like it could either be like a tiny sword or like what if he's just a regular sized dude and he's just carrying like a planet sized blade? Because what the fuck makes these slashes blood?
Well, dude, that now that you said that, him potentially just like having like a butter knife and doing all of this damage, it reminds me of that scene in like earlier Seven Deadly Sins where Meliodas just like grabs a twig and like slices through the landscape with it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah,
He's like, I gotta stop pulling my punches.
yeah.
Yeah, so uh dude had he failed, so he's going to war over this one kid and Kerner, she's like, you really had that much trouble, and apparently Narade is the ghosts of the kingdom or something like that. So I
Whatever
guess
that
this
means.
maybe
Yo,
yeah.
I think he's actually the king.
What?
I think
Mm,
because what did dude say? The Kingslayer, Yuri, right, or whatever,
Yeah,
Yuri Holst or something like that,
yeah.
the like best adventurer like in history or whatever. He's like, hey, yo, so I'm about to take over this nigga's body real quick and give y'all a message. I didn't actually kill the king. There's like some like weird like mysterious like cryptic like dialogue that I'm gonna give you about like how things aren't the way that they seem, but like you guys should just like stay out of it for now and like don't worry about what's going on. Like I don't know if it's like a reincarnation kind of situation or like what, but like my thoughts like immediately went to like, yo, we're gonna get like some crazy because there's a lot of mystery surrounding Nerade that like characters keep like hinting at that he's like this very special character of some kind.
Yeah.
And
it-
it's like
you know,
I think that an insane reveal would be like that he like is the king in some way, like maybe not like the king like as he was before he was murdered, quote unquote, or whatever, but like some kind of version of the king or related to him. It would
like
just be like fucking mind-blowing to me. Yeah.
Party Gems actually left this interesting theory in my comments on my review of this chapter about like near maybe being part of a nation that was part of the previous kingdom, and that he was like part
Ooh.
of, and due to how like Dragon Knight system is like survival of the fittest, maybe something happened revolving around him losing his memories,
Okay.
and that's why he's like the idea of like the ghost of the kingdom. Something I want to add on to that, you know how it was established in this chapter that it seems like no dragonfolk can hide their tail, but Nereid can seemingly do that instantly?
Yeah.
Yeah, seems
What if
kind of
he's like some
kingly if you ask me.
either that or he's some sort, or maybe he's an artificial dragonfolk? Because
Ooh.
I can see that.
something
I
like
like
that.
it.
Because like he is so goddamn strong, and he can do something that seemingly no other dragonfolk can do. So what if he really is like an artificial life form created for the military, for like the government
I
from
can
long
see
ago,
that.
and was just like sealed away because he was too strong, and with
Maybe he's like
conspiracy with the king, and
a
he got let go.
maybe he's like a
Finish your
homunculus
damn
or
thought,
something.
weeb, goddammit.
Maybe. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
he's like a homunculus or something, and they're like the soul of the king and the soul of Yuri somehow got put into this thing along with like his own third personality type shit. I don't know. We're getting tinfoily, but a lot of
Hmm.
good theories.
I mean, I
Yeah.
just think that there's like so much there. Like the ghost is a word that was used,
Yeah,
and the king died. Fucking like I
yeah,
just feel like there's a lot there for like a really mind blowing like king related revelation tied to
Oh yeah, for
Nerade, and
sure.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that.
I
okay.
I need to wait a few more chapters before I can actually like make videos on the lore of this series. Because my god, I can make so many videos from this series already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
kind of
he can do things other dragon folk can do. I think artificial dragon folk like feels a little bit better now that you've like brought it up. I actually really
Yeah,
yeah, I
like
like
that.
it.
especially since it's a survival of the fittest type nation. What if there was just like a big war and then the kings decreed, "Let's do this. It's easier
And we got like a
for dragon folk, keeps them in
yeah,
line to an extent."
and we
And
got
he
like
was put in stasis.
yeah, and we got this like mad scientist like character who does
Mhm.
like weird like biological experiments. Like he sewed 3 dogs together and then murdered them or like some shit or whatever the fuck they were
He
saying
even
earlier. Like
he even called Nereid the Wave Dragon.
Yeah,
might know
that's
what
right.
he
They
is.
said that shit too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot about that. So yeah, we know that he is something, and some people know who or what he is, but not enough information is known.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like multiple characters have been like, "Oh, he's back" or whatever. Like they like did that shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Yerkes does it here when he's referring to him as this kingdom's ... ghost ...
Ghost.
Yeah,
So yeah, he knows who he is, or maybe he didn't at first, but now he knows or whatever. Maybe it was like, maybe it is a thing where it's like a body type of deal, and it's like he didn't recognize him, but he recognized that power when he activated it. He's like, no, that can only be one guy, yeah. So jumping back into what's this place called Ubal. Narade and Geo are trying to wake up Sludge Boy, and he's, I guess, pretending to be out cold, and
Probably.
yeah, and everybody's like questioning them and stuff like that, and
that
just
reminds me of that like fake Phantom Troop member from the Hunter exam arc of like Hunter x Hunter. He's like big and blue and like swole, and he had like a bunch of like plastic surgery and shit done, and like fucking
Oh, yeah.
Kurapika knocked his ass out, and then like they couldn't
Mm-hmm.
continue the like gambling because they couldn't confirm whether he was like alive or dead or whatever. What the fuck was that dude's name?
I don't remember.
No idea. He was a non-character at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Imagine his name was also Bronze.
No, hell no. Majitani.
Okay, that's cousin them.
Yeah, cousin them.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, another chapter where we're giving information. So it's like, hey, telling these folks I'm trying to get information, trying to get my memories back. She wants to learn about her dad. People know about Yuri Host, obviously, because he was the greatest hero or adventurer to ever adventure. People don't fuck with Schmidt though. He's
Yeah,
They don't
he's
know
a
who
little
he is.
weirdo. They
No,
just
well, some
don't. They
people,
just don't understand him.
yeah. Well, this guy
He's like
doesn't fuck
Dusty
with him.
Nova.
Yeah, a couple people didn't know him, but like this one guy is like, that man, he's spineless, irresponsible, a coward, and a disgrace
Reno.
of a dragon knight.
He's talking about Reno, that eye patch guy.
Oh yeah, that's what I
Oh,
meant. That's what I meant.
yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. They happen to run into Reno or whatever, and so like
They're like, fuck this dude. He's a deserter.
Yeah. So they don't
Yeah.
know Schmidt, and then they're like, fuck.
They
Reno,
don't know
'cause
Schmidt about this nigga.
I had a theory that Reno fought and lost the chalk, but to like make sure that the citizens wouldn't want him back, Schmidt cast an illusion where where Chalk and Schmidt reenacted this, but disguised as Reno, he just bolted and ran away to be seen as a coward, and nobody wants him back, thus keeping Reno away.
I like that. This is your series.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Party Jam's Rick Said's comment that he left on our last video, because now I'm like finally caught up with Galaxias, and I had to like skip over this like part of his comment because I didn't want to like spoil myself before I had read it or whatever. But apparently y'all were talking about how like the fights like have been one-sided in the series so far.
Yeah.
And granted we're less than 10 chapters in, but I remember when he fought the kangaroo chick, like she was fucking dancing on that nigga for a little bit, and he learned more about his abilities from fighting her after losing like half of that fight. And like that shit,
The fight
like,
didn't even conclude.
In
that last conversation, we when we talked about that, I was saying, I think we brought that up too, and he was saying like how she gave him a good fight, but I was just saying like the conversation was more like, I think, serious fights. Like that was kind of more like a jokey joke, kind of like they weren't fighting to the death, but like everybody else that
everybody else know how it could escalate their dragon folk, their state to like really get into fights. So.
But like any actual antagonistic forces that have like come in contact with Narade has gotten flattened. Yeah.
Like in this chapter, Bronze tried to ran away and they were just caught up to him instantly. Like it was nothing. Like the absolute monster that he is.
He's just on another level. That escape was interesting. I do this.
He's a jet.
Yeah, he's using his explosive sludge and I guess his tail to like fly or whatever. And this is cool. He's got a secret technique.
Interesting thing that was stated. I don't know if you guys. I hope you guys caught it. He says he's as fast as like a fighter jet, which confirms that there are jets and fighter planes in this universe.
Yeah, I mean they called this place Earth too, so
Yeah, and
Yeah, but we didn't know the advancement of their technology.
Oh, true.
I mean, they
Yeah.
had trains.
I mean, she's got like
Yeah.
a gun and shit.
yeah, and
She got like
at
a rifle or whatever. Yeah,
at the
Yeah,
very
we didn't know like
beginning,
how advanced, like to the ability to fly.
yeah,
yeah.
This could also maybe confirm that there are like other nations outside, obviously, that have
More
technology.
advanced
Because I think
technology.
I think it was stated at the beginning, like within the first few chapters, that dragon folk are only within this kingdom due to like the Dragon King or Dragon of Origin or whatever being part of this kingdom
yeah.
ley lines or whatever.
So far, we
So I
have
guess the rest of the
only.
world
So
needed
far,
to
we
catch
have.
up.
So
Sorry.
far, yeah, I think we've seen mostly like wagons and boats and stuff. Somebody said a train, and then this chapter starts with Yerkes talking about a gasoline car. He's like lousy gasoline car. I guess this was
Yeah.
a joke. Like he says he should have ridden a baby deer. I guess that was just like I would have been better off riding a fucking deer or something. Like fuck these cars. So there's some method of transportation. He was not pleased with his Uber ride. So
Yeah.
but yeah, let me see. Flip through. So yeah, he's we got confirmation of jets and Narade is, fast, obviously, so you can keep up with this kid and they're flying around. He looks like a manta ray or something.
Hmm.
And Chalk down here bullying his workers, telling them basically,
Killing them.
fucking work until you die, dummy. And it's
I
what
think
it
I mentioned
is.
this. I mentioned this in the last review. That's gonna be interesting to see how Nereid fights him due to the
Yeah.
technicality of his ability.
I can't
Because
wait to see how that works. He low key reminds me of Drac and Joe from Eden Zero.
oh
I
yeah,
see that.
Draken Joe. I want to I want to reread Eden Zero now so much now that it's over.
Get a room.
Reread is crazy, but yeah, that
Yeah.
dude was cool.
I'm
Yeah, the
yeah.
anime's gonna come back soon.
So something wasn't Chalk, he had like a character trait. I was in the first review, I think it was, I was saying he reminds me a lot of like a One Piece character because of his like design, and he's got like this character trait thing where he was like, no surprising
nonsense.
information can
No
ever
bad
reach my
news.
ears or
Yeah, don't
something.
ever give me no bad news, bitch.
Yeah,
And
bad
he
news.
like plucked his eyeball out and shit. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, dude.
And
And
then
so,
he
like-
immediately flies in. He's like, Captain, this guy's bad news.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like this is gonna be a thing because like he
Yeah.
is bad news and he hates bad news. So like, what the fuck is gonna happen next week?
He's gonna kill
This
Bronze.
nigga looks like
Yeah.
looks like a fucking like member of Kiss, like with this
Bro.
black like lipstick and his hair. And
You know
look
what
at the fucking gobbler on this guy, bro. Do you see this Adam's apple on the last page?
Yeah.
It's just massive, yeah. His
Bro's
neck,
throat game is insane right now.
yeah,
Pause.
neck-
You know,
yeah.
something that actually occurred to me now. I think it'd be pretty interesting if like Reno shows up, like like maybe he's like inspired by Nereid and Geo's like fearlessness, or maybe Geo goes out to find him and asks for help. He shows up and gives Nereid a hand, like telling him, like showing him how to bypass the ability to an extent, or maybe he takes on Schmidt while Nereid focuses on taking out Chalk. Maybe Geo comes with an assist.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with Chalk's ability, it'd be really hard for Nereid to like beat him in a one-on-one combat if only if Nereid is fast enough for a Chalk not to react. Otherwise, I would love to see like a team effort to take him down.
Yeah, I
the
don't
technicality of his
think
ability.
this dude's getting blitzed. I think that
No, he's
his
not.
ability like plays like a huge factor in like the almost defeat of like Nereid. Like I think that he like has some form of like immobility, creating situation. Like he makes his like arms like too heavy for him
Yeah.
to do anything or something like that, and it allows for Geo to come in and assist in some kind of way. But like, isn't she like really far away right now?
Yeah.
She
I think
is.
So it probably
She is, but
far.
you never know what could happen. Remember,
maybe
they
even-
also said there's like a ravine.
Maybe she
It's-
pulls up in a fighter jet. A little foreshadowing.
This
Or
character,
they have a
though,
motorboat.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
really I can't wait to see how this fight goes because it's always interesting when authors create a character like this one where it's like it's very much not safe. Like not only is it not a good idea to fight the guy because he's strong, but it's just not safe to even let this dude touch you because it's the Shigaraki effect. It's like if he touches you,
Only
you
with one
are
hand.
cooked.
Yeah.
Was that confirmed? One hand?
Yeah,
But,
just
yeah.
I think it's just his left or right hand.
Yeah, it's just his left hand, and like it might be a problem if he like petrifies like Nereid's arm and then like shatters it. But if he just petrifies like a body part and then he's defeated, then I think the ability like dissipates and you
Watch
go
him
back to
just
normal, and you go back to
Maybe.
normal.
watch
No,
him just
because
shake off the
that's
petrification.
that's what happens in the first chapter when fucking Nereid blasts Yerkes away. Suddenly, like Geo's dad's like rib bones like go back to normal, and
Oh, yeah.
like the damage on his face like falls off. And I
Okay,
think there's
okay.
actually like hard confirming dialogue that's how it works in that chapter too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I just went back and looked. Yeah, as soon as he's knocked out, it fucking there's the panel with the dad, and the shit is just exploding off his face, and he's like
Yep.
surprised to see that it happens. So yeah, okay, yeah, it seems his ability stopped working. That is specifically said in the chapter. So okay,
Yep.
so I guess as long as you aren't like shattered, you can like come back from it, but like it's still just a very dangerous ability to have in a
Right.
character. Um, Shit. So and it looks like it like extends, like he doesn't like directly have to touch you. Like he catches this axe, turns it into sand or salt or whatever, shatters it, and the dude is gone with it. Like he doesn't actually touch the guy, he touches the blade of this axe.
Right. And then like by like proxy or like by like
Wait.
contact, it can just like
Yeah.
petrify anything that's in contact with the thing, and it's like a cascading effect like down from like the point of contact like across everything else that's touching it.
Wait,
Yeah.
Knox, are you sure
Yeah.
it's his left hand?
I think it's the right. He's catching it with the
Because
right
in this
I
panel, it's the right hand.
I guess it is the right hand then, but I could have sworn the dialogue said his left hand in the previous chapter.
I think
Now
it's
I'm
right.
curious.
I don't even remember it
I'm
being
going
specific.
back and looking.
Yeah,
Here we go. Yeah, okay, whatever you touch with your left hand turns to stone. So that's like a translation error or
They
okay.
forgot.
an oversight in the art or something.
Either that or like either there's a mistake or it's like my left hand just turns things to stone and my right hand fucking turns them to sand and crumbles them. I don't know. I think it's probably just an error.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
I think
like a retcon.
I'm going translation error there.
Yeah,
Thanks,
okay.
K manga.
Yeah, thanks for fucking it up.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is gonna be interesting because we got a Shigaraki type character, and I wonder if he's gonna do like a quicksand type of deal. Like if he fights, what if he fights kind of like Crocodile or something, or just like Geo. I mean,
Yeah,
Nereid's like
Yeah.
like
running.
Crocodile.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're talking about from One Piece?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just thought too when you said that.
Yeah. I can't wait
It
to
would
see
be
what his.
interesting considering the fact that they're surrounded by a lot of water, like, and there's waterways in that cave. What if the water could wash off the salt and like free them from the petrification? What if that's his weakness? Like his hubris brought him to a place where his ability has a weakness,
Well,
and thus
Whoa,
that leads to his
salt.
downfall.
Wait a minute. No, he's turning these niggas to stone, G.
No, it said salt.
Wait,
where was
what?
that?
Yeah, he said it's salt.
Where was the salt
I'm
mentioned?
pretty sure it was chapter 7, his first introduction.
He called him the coral dragon. Anything you touch with your left hand turns to stone.
Oh, it's stone. Never mind then.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. But
I'm dumb.
even then,
It's
like
all good.
nothing we've seen like kind of implies that he like keeps people around. Every time we've seen him use this ability, like the person is killed like right after that. So it's not like he has like trophies or statues of people that are just like kept around. Like he turns them to stone and they're like immediately murdered off. So it's like the water like saving people's lives. We haven't seen any people who would be saved from that so far. Even
Yeah.
if that were to be a thing. But I mean, something's got to come in play. Maybe, maybe he can't use his ability while he is wet or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Or
it's gonna be
maybe he
interesting
just
to see
needs to
how
be
they.
punched really hard.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. But yeah, so I mean, I think I'm spent on what's that, chapter 9 of Galaxias. What about you guys, Traffy,
I'm good.
Knox,
I think I'm Gucci.
and Weber?
I'm all good.
All right, well, that's gonna be it for chapter 9 of Galaxias. We are all squeezed out. And now jumping into the last segment from the Weekly Shonen Manga Magazine segment, Ranger Reject Chapter 158, Flame and Ice. We lead it off with a beautiful color page with all of the ladies of the Ranger Reject universe. Even Izome's here as an invader. That was interesting.
I love when manga could do this, where they just like do
Yeah.
all the girls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Always
kind of
breaks.
just reminds you that there are a lot of girls here. Not a lot of them are like not used. Everyone kind of gets their moments. Even like I think this one chick behind was it Runa to the right in the corner? That's like the reporter or something, right? Or like is
Yeah.
she's one of the like TV chicks or whatever? Everybody here has gotten some screen time, and a lot
Yeah,
of these
there's no
characters,
Sakuras.
yeah, a lot of these
No, I'm kidding.
characters get good. Like everyone gets screen time, but a lot of these characters get like a lot of screen time. Like we get,
Yeah.
Hisui and Nagino or Noah and Cicera and Hisui and shit. So it's a lot of good girl characters that we got here, and they're watching like this. I forget what Amagi Park or some shit. Somebody V and Axel told me what this was. There's some anime that just started or something, and they're watching that or whatever. So this is like,
Yes, I think I've heard about it. Like I think Tying the Knot something. It's a
yeah,
harem rom com, which funnily enough, like I saw it on Twitter. Like there was like a collab illustration between that and the quintessential quintuplets. So
yeah.
that's why Negi just threw that in as like a reference in that series.
Yeah, I think that guy was like an assistant to Negi at some point, maybe
That makes
during
sense.
Quince or something. So yeah, this is a shout out to Bro and them. But jumping into the chapter, I'll let you give some thoughts, Trafferton. What you thinking?
Oh my God, this chapter was amazing. So
Beef.
I'm gonna skip ahead to the part. Yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead to the part that I think is really cool, but we'll double back. My boy, my homie, my little bro Soma, he is apparently on D's side, and I'm here for it because with the implications of this chapter being the fact that Green is going to take over the Ranger Force, it really makes it to where Noah is still kind of unconfirmed, but she seems to be taken by D in a Sakurama form, so it feels safe to say that she would be on Chidori's side. Seeing Soma talk with D kind of places him on Chidori's side as well.
Yeah,
And then, I mean, you have the old Sosei who's kind of on Chidori's side, whereas the new Sosei would just be
Chaos.
kind of like, hey, whatever, you're the Greenkeeper. I don't know any better. What happened to Shinya? So it's really cool to see kind of everybody come together, and it really looks like they're going to turn on Shinya, but in what way is the question?
yeah,
The way like he it was revealed that he seemingly has the Phantom script. It's giving, and how he's saying like this is the finale of the Divine Dragon Keepers. I'm like, this is giving off final arc setup energy right here. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it feels like with that reveal. I don't think it's gonna happen so quickly right now, but it just feels
It
that
do
way
feel
with how
final
Hidori is setting it
arcy.
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dialogue made me think like, oh, it's almost over.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
like I had a feeling that like a lot of people would get those vibes, but like at first glance, it's like yeah, you can kind of like feel that way. But I think if you think about it just for a few moments, there's still a lot that
Yeah,
has
there's
to
still a
be
lot to
done.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's still like a lot of characters who haven't gotten there. Like Sosei's fighting for his character arc to be concluded here. So there's a lot of characters who haven't had their arcs wrapped up. And I was
Do
talking
you
about it
think
with
that
V.
do you think it's not possible for everything to be wrapped up in one more arc? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, so Negi does have a way of doing a lot in an arc. So like in the three-way battle arc, we did get a lot of reveals, but like when Negi reveals stuff, he also gives us more questions. So it's like
Right.
realistically, I think we probably have, like no less than 50 chapters, but I want to say like maybe I was talking to V and I was saying I think we have another like three-way battle size arc and then maybe like two more kind of like 20 chapter 10 to 20 chapter arcs and then like some intermissions mixed in at the very least. I don't think this is wrapping up in 50 chapters. I think the Dragon Keepers and their like Phantom script and that storyline is just one part. So like if you had to break it up into sections, when JJK was ongoing, people thought like we're gonna have like the sorcerer arc, and then we gotta have like this section dedicated to the curses or whatever. So I think like whatever's coming next is going to conclude the like conflict with the Dragon Keepers, but there's still outside forces like Peltrola. So I think this
Yeah.
next arc is going to be about wrapping up the conflict within the inside of the Rangers and crushing or reforming them because there's like four characters who have different goals for the Ranger. D wants to kill them all. Red wants to now crush them, destroy them, or whatever, so that his character arc can be completed. And Hibiki wanted, I guess his goal has changed now because he's formed his own Rangers. So he wanted to like reform the Rangers and make it a safer place for his sister and shit. It's like
Sure.
everybody
So you're
has.
thinking we'll get like one big saga like dedicated to like wrapping up like the Ranger aspect of the story, and then
Yeah.
after that will be like the final like tying up of plot threads related to the mess that the Rangers made inside of the creation of this like alien force.
Yeah.
With
So
like
I think
the rest of the executives that are out there doing whatever. Yeah.
I think part of that is like very like like Soma's goal kind of relies on that, because it seems like Soma is kind of, based on this chapter, he's going for sort of a similar situation to Yakushi and Yuli Merida, where he was trying to live alongside this invader, and the world's a cruel place. Nobody likes invaders. Nobody's gonna like listen to an invader talk. You can't necessarily go down the street as an invader and say like, "Hey, I'm not actually a bad guy." People are gonna freak out and go crazy. So, kind of seems like this is a situation where he's hoping that he can kind of like reach out to D and maybe one day reach a situation where like invaders aren't seen only as monsters, and like Izome can live, a happy life, even though her life is fucked with this recent transformation. But in a brighter future, maybe they can live together and be, happy together. I don't know if there's some sort of relationship like that with them, but there are other invaders like Peltrola who flat out will not like, if Peltrola being alive makes it impossible for Izome to ever like live a free life. So like if they could all get on board and start, changing the way the public view these invaders and stuff, like D has a fan club basically. There's a lot of people who can vouch and say like, yeah, D's not like the worst guy. Like invaders aren't all bad, and maybe he gets over his hate for humans or whatever. Because he doesn't hate these people. He wants to kill the Dragon Keepers, but like I just see a world where like everyone can kind of live in harmony, but they got to get rid of the people at the top. Like Shinya has to be dealt with, and some of the crazy execs like Peltrola. And
So
I was going for a minute there.
I think one of the big things here is where the idea that the story might come to an end comes from a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
And those big assumptions revolve around the Phantom script and Chidori. Uh, I think before we could make any solid conclusions as to, how much is left of the story is we need to know what the Phantom script says exactly. Obviously, the idea I would assume is that in the Phantom script, it's supposed to end with the Dragon Force dying. Um, but that also doesn't seem beneficiary of Shinya, so it's not something that they would pursue if it meant the end of them, unless they were just trying to get it to destroy it. Um,
You
so
just reminded me of fucking Dragon Force, the band. I wonder what the fuck they've been up to, dude. Remember them on fucking Guitar Hero, dude? That song was
yeah,
so hard. What the
I
fuck,
remember
dude?
almost getting hit in the head with a Guitar Hero guitar.
Oh
Bruh.
my god, and I just want to say, like, cause I got the page up, bro. I'm so glad that Chidori stole off this nigga Shinya, bro. Like, this
Oh
yeah.
my
dude's
god.
got a Looney Tunes lump coming out of his fucking cheek right now, and it's so like cathartic and satisfying. Like, Negi knows that this nigga is not shit and has a very punchable face, and made sure
Mhm.
that he created a situation to where he can get fucking punched in it. And I'm just like so happy that we got this big ass panel dedicated to that. Suffer, fuck, nigga.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody get a fucking lump on their head. Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so the second part to the assumptions is we throughout basically the entire story since the Dreamy School arc, we have assumed what Chidori's end goal is, but we don't actually know if he's good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Oh,
they're definitely making it kind of like ambiguous, like with
true.
these last couple chapters, especially this one.
we
Yeah.
don't know his origin either. He could have something entirely different planned for this script and
Yeah,
the future. We could see, D and Chidori
yeah.
have to end up fighting.
Especially like this Hisui panel where she's like, Chidori, bro, like, what are you doing, dog? Like that's like that's like that like is like, and then like the panel of like the really like long horizontal like panel of like him with this helmet on, just like side eyeing her, but like you can't really tell because it's a helmet, but it's just like such a good drawing of him being like, oops, I'm on fuck shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also that one where he's like, "Yellow, your freedom is now in my hands," and he's got the squiggly like things on him.
Oh shit, he's got the
The
squigglers.
yeah, he's got the little squigglies that
Oh,
Negi
he
uses.
does. He had the little snaky coil screen tone pattern.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Oh
ever had
shit.
that. I don't remember Green ever having that. But were you? My bad. I think we cut you off, Trappy.
Oh no.
No, that's okay.
It,
No, I'm kidding.
okay. All right. I'm trying to go off
So-
over here.
Oh no, get back in that
But,
bag, buddy.
All right. So to jump back again, we go to the first page, and we're getting some more hints towards Wendy, because Wendy's like, I'm gonna bounce then, and Wendy gives Hisui like this just evil. I think that's the only way I could really describe it. It's like,
Ominous.
yeah,
Sinister,
ominous look.
ominous, yeah.
And it's like, whose side are you on? And I'm telling you, Wendy has been working with the Neo Rangers too. Wendy is playing the field. Who is Wendy? We've made our assumptions. I'm not going to talk about that again. But
Yeah.
Imagine Wendy's like that. Imagine Wendy's like that meme with Joey from Friends, be like, "I'm playing both sides. That way, when one goes over the other, I can just betray the other."
Friends
really-
reference on the pod?
Not like this.
Joey is crazy.
I really do think that he like this look is like you're putting it together because she says, "Show me your face again," and he looks at her with that look, and it's like to me, this is like you're starting to get it, huh? And then he's like, "Ah, bye, see ya." But like she looks too, so like he knows that she's smart, and he knows that she's in the underground covert ops research, figure shit out in the back alleys, dirty mode squad or whatever. And he gives her the look, and it's like, does she know? She's kind of getting there, kind of deal. So yeah, I think something's there.
yeah.
Show me your face. That's you don't. Why people don't say that. Show me your face again. Like I don't know what you look like. Let me see. Let me get a good look at you, Wendy. Whose side are you on?
It was almost like Hisui recognized Wendy, but
Yeah.
wasn't sure from where. Which
Yeah.
throws the callback of how her family got killed. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. But
Yeah.
I do want to touch back on the panel where we get like the Chibi Chidori punching Shinya. I like how just this last panel is like the first time we've actually seen Shinya look sorrowful. Like he looks sad, but it's
Yeah.
most likely because he just got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Or
But you got a grin on with this lump though. A couple of pages later.
yeah. I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just it's a weird shift for his character because it's not too often we see him look anything other than like aggravated or smiling.
So this chapter was fucking crazy, man. Like there's a lot to
Yeah.
talk about here, bro. Like
Mm.
Other than Red busting out this ground shit or whatever, and Chidori's like, I'm the one with the superhuman gimmick. Stop doing this, man. And so Red's like, I'm gonna kill Yellow. But something that I thought was very interesting was after he says, his character arc will be completed. Yellow is talking about how his base is on high alert. Like even an ant shouldn't be able to get in here yet. A Dragon Keeper was able to do it. So how did you do it, Green? And he says by force, which is the exact same thing he said to Magatia when Magatia made that zone, that MC Escher shit or whatever, and he busted in and he said he did it by force. And it's like Red got in here before it was on high alert, and then they locked the place down, and Chidori was still somehow able to get in here, and he says by force. And it's like, is he punching? Is his tool like letting him punch through a dimension or something to like
No.
warp,
I was gonna
teleport?
say his way through.
No,
Possible.
it is whatever power that Chidori has that does not revolve around the divine weapon, because you remember back in the three-way battle he used the like wind power against the Death
Yeah.
Messiah, and the
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Messiah
yeah.
is like, wait, are you, and then gets cut off. I think every
Mm,
time he says by force is when he's using that power and he doesn't want to show his hand.
Okay.
okay. So that I didn't think about it now until you know said that, but the thing I've been saying about Red could be true about him. Like he could be fucking half like dragonkin relative or something. Like he might got something in him, and
I
maybe that wind thing is it.
I still remember. I think that's possible, but I still remember that theory. Who was it? Who was it? Was it Vlad on Twitter? I think I can't remember exactly who, because they deleted it like a day after. But they put
Mm,
out this long, detailed theory on who Chidori actually is, and I think the name was like Fei Long, a white dragon from the Zodiac, and every piece of information that he put there made sense because of what we've seen from Chidori. And I feel like I'm gonna have to do my own research on it since he deleted it, which is very unfortunate.
yeah, Chidori also like there's a lot of like layers to peel back on Chidori because like is his like band name his when he was in that band his name was the Changed Real. Is that gonna like be a thing? Like is he gonna have something that comes from that name or whatever? It's a lot to this character and just characters in general. But another thing I wanted to ask y'all, like this on the next page where he says he says by force, and then and by the way, are you not going to take the suit off? And Yellow is like and then he says, I'm asking you if you're not going to take off the suit, otherwise I'll have to assume you're trying to oppose me. And Yellow goes, fine, like dot dot dot, fine, I get it. And to me, this
Yeah, I'm like, why?
the way it was worded to me felt like Green was reciting something like a line from an episode or something that like maybe Yellow didn't like realize he was quoting, or something from like some sort of scripture or prophecy or something. And it's like when somebody says something, you're supposed to respond with taking your suit off and or whatever. So like it felt like Green was saying something, and at first Yellow was like, huh, and then he was like, I'm saying if you're not going to take off the suit, I'll have to assume you're trying to oppose me. He's like, okay, I get it now. Because like, what is there to get there? Like it wasn't like a sudden understanding unless there's something that we don't know here. I
Well,
think.
I remember a detail from way back towards the beginning when Red lost his divine weapon, and he had to manually suit up, instead of just like the suit appearing because he's using the divine weapon. Um, so I feel like there's something linked between the suit and actually using the power, which uh, throws another wrench into Chidori, because he fought Suzukiri the entire time outside of his suit. So I feel like you're definitely onto something there, but I feel like there's a piece of information that we might be missing from earlier on in the series.
It just feels like some sort of like prophecy or something. Like like Yellow knows, but he doesn't expect Green to know, and then Green finds out, and he's like, "I get it. You become quite the rebel, or whatever." It's just this whole like, "Are you not going to take off your suit? Otherwise, I'll assume you're trying to oppose me." Then followed by him going like, "Oh, okay, I get it, fine, or whatever. I'll take it off." It's like, why? Yeah, I'm opposing you. We're not, we're fighting. Like, I don't know. It feels weird. Like there's something off screen that we don't know about. And then, he asks about Sane, and then he gets socked in his shit. I don't know. It's a lot going on here, man. And then your role is over. I'll be taking command of the Rangers. And Red's like, nah, fuck that. Red just overpowers this shit, breaks out. But I don't know, man. There's a lot here.
Yeah, this is another girthy chapter this week.
Yeah. And then even the Phantom script itself, like it's like a lot of pages. That's like 30 pages there. This isn't I don't know if Negi plans to go and make it out to be something that's long. Basically have it feel like something that would fill all the pages of this book. But it's the script. I mean, it looks like it's probably got a lot to it. I think Axel said this was like a reference to Sentai stuff. He was saying something like a lot of Power Ranger or Sentai series ended on like their 50th episodes or something like that. So I'm not a Sentai guy, so I don't know.
Um, so the question that brings up for me is the Phantom script referencing just the last script, the end of the Rangers, or is the Phantom script the entirety of them? So number 1 through number 50.
It could be that, or it could just be like a rough outline of like the summary of the story, like the final draft of what the story would end up being, for all we know.
Yeah.
Like the main storyline.
I thought it was just
Or
like
an arc.
the last episode that like Sunday wrote, but like it's like a cursed script. Like this shit shouldn't see the light of day. We shouldn't, follow it or whatever. Something weird happens, or I don't know. Like people were
Or just
mentioning it.
I feel like
So
it's just the main ending for Dragon Keepers as a whole. Like for whenever this whole charade, this show would make its eventual true end, that's what the Phantom script is, and it's stated to be that because it was in a way because they don't want the show to ever end.
Yeah. When he
so
say
I
sorry.
just I just wanted to make a reference here because
Hmm.
in Common Rider Geats, one of the big focuses of the story is it's like a battle royale, where whoever wins gets their desire, whatever they want, they achieve. And one of the big focuses of the story is that whenever the tournament's coming to an end, the last stage is like a world-ending event, and they are supposed to stop the world-ending event. And basically, people die, and then once they win, the world resets to the way it was before that tournament had started, and anyone who was participating that didn't win lose their memories. So that's not the finale of Geats. That just happens in the story. So I wonder if it's something like that. Like this is leading to a world-ending event.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, these dragons are real. Like it's not, there's definitely some supernatural elements with the dragons existing. So there's probably a lot of supernatural stuff going on in this script and whatever the show is. Like something happened and we're getting closer to it. And just like the use of fate, like no need to rush. The end will come either way. All is as fate's ordained. It feels like something prophetic. There's
Hmm.
some shit like some crazy deep shit that's more than just TV. There's something here that we just don't know, and it's probably gonna be really big. But
Mind-blowing shit. And Negi's like so good with like crazy information reveals from
yeah,
like dangling plot threads that have been laid out throughout the series. So like if he's saving all of the best ones like for the end, like I just cannot wait to see like what this is building towards.
yeah, yeah, and just going back to the whole like maybe this is the end. I was talking to V, and I was just like talking about naming some things that like we still haven't seen. Like we don't know what the deal is with Diesel Egg. We don't know what's up with the Chop or where Imamatai is. And there's other executives out there. Ranmaru, probably still has to come back because they mentioned him at the beginning of the arc after the time skip and said that he was like retaking the Balong exams. We don't know what Exis is doing. The Neo Rangers, I feel like they have to do something else other than be on that like cheesy TV show where they tried to kill D for like 3 episodes. Whatever the Phantom script is doing. D wants to release these chains from the fortress to free his people. Crushing the Rangers. Executives like Peltrola. There's a lot going, man. And then like I said, I feel like Soma's trying to do like Yakushi was and live a normal life with Azome, and it's like we jump back to that, and it's revealed that he's got a gambling debt, so he's just like
Yeah.
Kaiji and them
It's
type
just
shit.
perfect.
Kaiji shit.
Yeah,
I still gotta read
and
that.
yeah,
It's
Kaiji's peak.
so good.
Yeah, Kaiji's peak, but
Watch
he
the anime for the first 2 seasons, then read the manga.
yeah,
I
do
can't wait
that.
to see what Squid Game ripped off.
Oh no, it.
I mean, shit,
Oh
it's
okay, yeah,
it's like that and like Battle Royale, low key.
yeah, yeah. It's
I
just
ju-
peak.
this was a great chapter for Soma as a character, especially since we haven't gotten much out of him. And I mean, the one big scene we had was Raw, but it wasn't like huge for his character. But this is just, he's like, I have no reason to fight. This is my day off. And then when he's questioning D, uh, he asks him, he's like, can you forgive her? And D's like, I don't hate her. She has a right to hate me. And he says, if you said you wouldn't forgive her, that'd be the end of my day off, which means he would fight him.
Oh man, that was cool
Yeah.
as hell. Pun intended.
But it's just it's so cool for his character. And then I'm curious as to how he just vanished after he says, you're so earnest, I don't hate that. And D goes to attack him and he's just gone.
Yeah.
My theory is that he froze D without him realizing it, and then he just left and had it unfreeze instantly, making it seem like he just did it in an instant.
Actually,
That or,
that
like-
makes sense because it looks like there's like little ice shards around him.
Yeah, that or like some sort of like freeze time shit. Like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of times they
The
do like
world.
yeah, a lot of characters when they're super powered ice characters, they always have like I can freeze the world or freeze time type ability. But yeah, this conversation was really cool and it does a lot for D to be like, Azomi's got the right to hate me, man. I'm not a fucking loser. Like she has all the right in the world to hate me. I can't hate her for that. Like that's big, especially for a character who is, supposed to be the villain or whatever. And he Soma's piecing it together. This shit's funny when he's like, I can't believe a blue guy killed by a foot soldier because you guys are kind of weak. It's like you try to put it delicately. It's like this is a good conversation. It was one that I very much was not expecting, and like at first glance, I was like, so does that confirm that Soma was the collaborator? Because I think Hibiki said that they had two people that were like working with him and they didn't show who the second one was. And part of me wants to say I think it's Soma, but in this chapter, Soma says he's like, all I did was leak information that the Blue Keeper was like hanging out in the woods. So in that case, it doesn't sound like he went through, like the Neos. It sounds like some other channel of information got this to D, and he found out was like, I'm gonna go assassinate the Blue Keeper since he's in the woods.
They also showed
Nope.
the back of that character's head, and
Was it different?
they had lighter hair, and the hair was
Okay.
shorter, more like Shinya's hair or Wendy's.
Okay.
A part of me, like with that one panel, I forgot what page it was on, where before we got Soma's reveal, for a second there I almost thought that D was going to be talking to XX because of how like the front bangs were like.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I think
But
we'll be getting that
he'll talk to her
XX.
soon.
I think we'll be getting that XX conversation next chapter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope
he's
so.
XX.
at-
Oh.
he's at
X's.
Neo
Or
Neo.
X's, my bad.
Yeah. X,
I was like,
X.
oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
What site are we going to?
Yeah, don't judge me by your human standards. I'm an invader. I'm not like you. I was born as an invader. There must be a reason for that. D is just a great character. And a lot of people were talking about this page. I didn't have any like super, thoughtful, thoughts for it. I just kind of vibed with it, but I saw a lot of people saying that D is kind of like shapeless or whatever and formless with this world kind of like changing the way he views himself and taking parts of him and who he is away and recrafting him and shit, like his character, like this page, the one where he's just a silhouette, and it looks cool. He's got his arm pointed or whatever. It's a lot going on here. It's
Looking
a
like
dope
Michael
page.
Jackson.
Yeah, he's got that hat on.
He got that shit on though.
He do got that shit on. So there was I can't remember any posts now. I want to say like Bert on Twitter or like V. A couple people had some really good posts. So go look those up if you're listening to this. Comment if you are one of those people. But yeah, it's a really good way of showing like D's, I guess, inner turmoil and how he feels about himself. And maybe he's like not sure, all the information that he's being given, maybe he's like just still unsure about who he is and what he is really. Because even Soma, like D here, D is like, we're fated to fight. That's the reason I was born. And Soma's like, the reason you were born, huh? And then he just like doesn't say anything. He starts looking up or whatever as D's like, yeah, let's fight. And he's like, yeah. The reason he was born is something that is about to be told to him. Because remember, Hibiki told him, come back to the base and we'll tell you everything, why you were born and why all this is happening and shit. So he's about to learn a lot. And he pulls up and I forget her name, Azami Benny greets him. So
Yeah.
big chapter, man. A lot to take in.
Much.
It was a girther.
It was a girther, and Negi, he's got more girth to give, I guess.
And we'll take it.
Yeah, we're gonna
Oh
take it. So
God.
can't wait for next chapter. That'll be in a couple days, and probably get a lot more reveals, man. Because it just feels like Negi he answers like 3 or 4 questions, but he also gives us like 3 to 6 more questions at the same time. So it's like,
Always.
Yeah.
yeah, we open up the chapter with some ominous, shit, and we end it with the same type. So that's gonna be it for me for 158 Ranger Reject. What about you guys?
So yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Squeezed.
Okay, that's gonna be
Skeeter.
it. Thank you for listening to our chapter 158 review of Ranger Reject. And now we get into Ichi the Witch, the 8th Hunt, or Chapter 8, the Hisame Magic, Part 2. What are your thoughts?
Fabulous.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm kind of happy with how things are going with this particular thing because I think I didn't say this, but I was kind of afraid that they would like go towards like the hunting aspect in terms of what happened with this chapter to try and take out all of the magic. But I'm really glad that it literally showcases some really hard rules for how they work,
Yeah,
where you can't just up and fight them and take them out by surprise. It has to fall under the jurisdiction of their trials, which is like
Yeah, I kind
how
of forgot about that
I
until
did
this
yeah.
too.
chapter, to be
same.
honest.
I think
Because
I
like,
think it's how
what was the trial for Inazuri again?
I don't think
I
there
I,
think
was
I
just
could
one.
have
have a
sworn he
Beating,
just
fight.
ran up on him and beat his
be,
ass.
it
Yeah.
I
was it
think
was
just to
just
get
beating
taken
it.
out.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
beating it without getting shocked once.
Yeah, yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
because it was so confident in its own strength.
Yeah,
So yeah, which it does encapsulate a lot of the personalities seemingly of all the magics. And so giving them a challenge like this showcases like solidifies that not all of these trials are going to be like purely fighting and power based in
yeah.
an actual fight. So this is definitely going to be interesting. I feel like this is probably going to be why I've I forgot the new character's name from the research
Kamugi.
team,
Kamugi.
Kamugi. I think this is why
Kamooger.
she might actually be the one to help like take on the trial because she's had so many odd jobs. She might actually be able to do something. Plus, the Scaris is there.
Yeah, I can see
So
Kamugi getting a good because she keeps getting praise from Ichi, so I can see like one more like thing happening where it's like Kamugi, you really are like fantastic,
yeah, and then she gets like like an actual magic that she could potentially use because if she's the
Ooh,
one that, and then she will actually be able to maybe if she masters it, participate in fights and trials more actively in the future, and thus
I
solidifying
didn't,
this team dynamic.
I didn't think about that. If Kamugi is the one that gets this magic, that would be dope.
That would be
She's also
so
really good
gas.
at using like basic water magic, so adding in the
Yeah.
ice.
Okay, I like that. We were talking before about like, Ichi having lightning and ice, and it's like, yeah, that'd be great, but like give Kamugi something because I'm sure she's gonna get roped into this team, situation from now on. She's probably not gonna go back to delivering mail or, maybe she'll do it in on a break or something, but she's probably like team, she's on team Discaris now. So it'd be nice of her to have this. And it'd be really cool for this particular situation where it's this flamboyance and the lipstick fucking eyeliner wearing ice shark thing is like
Mhm.
a
I was not
it's a,
expecting that.
yeah, very interesting personality, and for it to be paired up with Kamugi would be a lot of fun.
I do want
Mm.
to
Hell
say
yeah.
that when I first flipped onto the page with like the ice fortress, the first thing that like crossed my mind was this is like Persona vibes. I thought it was a monster at first. Specifically, it kind of reminded me of one of the first humans you fight in Metaphor Refantasio,
Mm.
and I was like, that's just the cool design. Like it just looks. I don't even know the word for it. It just looks cool.
Yeah, I didn't know what I thought, man. I just like a lot of thoughts went through my mind. Like I felt like this is something I would see in like Magi, or like maybe this is like fucking Legend of Zelda like water temple. Like I can see like Link putting on like the Majora
Yeah,
mask and swimming up the waterfall, and it's like suddenly he's in a fucking temple that's huge as fuck. It's like a lot of things I was thinking about this, but like they are not not impressed. Like everyone sees this and they just got a disgust face. Even Roro is like not,
yeah.
he
Mhm.
sees it and like this is what the fuck is this bullshit. something with this first page though. I was kind of it felt like I missed something, like it opens and he goes, aha, then anything bitten by that shark promptly freezes. That's why both villagers are blocks of ice. And it's like he starts it with then anything bitten. Like it was like a conversation was taking place before this
Right.
chapter,
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was weird.
I mean, it does kind of show that there was like a passage of time because like the little girl's on his back now and they're walking. Well, I don't know where she was at the start of this chapter because he's using both of his hands. I guess she just jumped on his back.
Yeah, I think let me just double check like the explosions. Yeah, because the chapter ended with cool guys not looking at explosions Ichi. So, uh yeah, the girl was running towards them. Ichi steps out. I'm Ichi the Witch. He's walking. And yeah, the chapter ends with the little girl being with Discaris and they're like 10 feet away from Ichi as he says I'm Ichi the Witch or whatever. So and she's
But I
and
mean,
she's holding
she could have just like jumped on his back, and then they start
yeah.
walking, and then he thinks about like what just happened. Like, oh, okay, I get it now. Then anything bitten by that shark promptly freezes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely
I don't
some
think I
time
don't think
has
they
passed.
necessarily had to have had a conversation that we missed in between chapters or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
they've
think it
probably
was
been
just
walking for like 10 minutes.
I think it was just like an awkward cold start to the chapter was
Yeah.
the main concern there.
So something about this that I didn't catch because I normally hate like I don't care when I see names that are like not like I like names like Luffy and uh Ichi is cool, but like when characters have names that sound realistic or like when it's like a real place that exists or like a village name or something, I normally don't think too much about it. But somebody in one of the group chats pointed it out. This village is Jaws, Jauz, Jaws, and there's a shark.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah. I was like, oh my
God,
goodness.
how didn't I put that together?
I didn't fucking think about that shit at all. Yeah.
Good spot, whoever that was.
Yeah. Thousand wood. So they go to this village and everyone's gone. And apparently people can still move or something. What was said?
They can
They
still get
somehow
that back.
moved even though they were frozen.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to have be a thing. But
Ice
you know,
zombies.
yeah, ice
Ice
zombies.
zombies, dude.
Frozen zombies. They resuscitated some of the victims with an emergency aid spell. They're still under watch. Boy, you know everything, Kamugi. And she's got the like chopper. Not really. All
Mhm.
I did was read a report. I
I
like
totally
this.
don't like when you praise me, you bastard.
Yeah. I love this. Yeah, I love this part of her character. I hope we get more and more of that.
Oh yeah.
So in all reports, the victims from each chapter, in all reports from each village, the victims were eventually found nearby body of water. So they go and they find this structure, and it's very surprising to see that the humans are being kept inside of these icicles. Like when I saw
Yeah.
this, I was very much expecting a much more mean or evil like magic, but this thing had a much different personality.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
she is still like, like she actually has humans like iced up in this fucking structure.
Yeah,
So like she's still a son of a bitch, but just like crazy, wacky, comedic like personality is like hilarious. But
yeah.
yeah, I turned the page into this fucking ice castle like design and I was like, holy fuck, this shit looks crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Earlier,
seeing the people frozen inside of it like gave like a chilling like kind of like tone shift to the whole situation. I was like, oh fuck, that's kind of like macabre or whatever I thought like at the time. And then and then to have that like be the setup into this like really flamboyant like crazy like funny like personality, I think strikes a good balance in the tone.
Yeah.
yeah, and earlier we were talking about, having the trial, but we didn't specifically say what the trial was. Having it be a fashion contest is kind of crazy, and it's so
Yeah.
creative, and I think it's perfect.
Everybody's so creative.
Yeah.
In a good
It's a great
way.
way to. Yeah, it works for like the beginning of the story though. This type of thing you kind of got to get out of the way early before like crazy major plots start happening. Because I can see this being a chapter where people are like, maybe I'll wait a few chapters.
Yeah,
'Cause,
people are
like,
saying that this shit's getting axed because of this, and it's like,
yeah, that's stupid.
Really?
No.
yeah, that's
Mm.
like so like, bro.
It's a weekly
Not everything needs to be Kagurabachi to survive, bro.
Yeah.
it's weekly Shonen Jump, right? Everyone thinks something has to be fast paced or get straight to the point immediately.
And I
Yeah.
mean, like
Something
history,
big and
kind of like
bombastic.
I can't blame him because of like the axe history in this publication line, but like, like this is clearly not one of those series that's going to, to suffer all that much from something like this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and this is the
Yeah.
type of thing that, like, 100 chapters down the line, people start begging that we would have. It's like, bro, can we please have, like, a break from the fighting? When,
Oh yeah,
Right.
for sure.
when are
Yeah.
we gonna get, like, Ichi's day off type shit, or like a
Yeah.
That's my
character
thing with
that,
JJ. That was my thing with JJK.
yeah, and it's like this is the
Yeah,
type
which
of
is a
shit.
bad criticism, but anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love how Ichi just always shows like how he knows, each predator or whatever. Like he yells hello, and it's like, is that, normally that's probably not something you would do, but what does he say? Like he knows that like it takes pride in its like kill or whatever, so it will like accept the challenge and come out. What does he say?
says that he has malice towards humans, doing it just for the hell of it.
Hmm.
I believe.
Let me see.
It has a desire to kill humans and a habit of toying with prey, so it's death for death time. Fuck nigga, or whatever he said.
Yeah, but then when he screams, what does he
Oh yeah, he just says
say?
hello.
Yeah, but it's like, do you think? Yeah, a weak, timid creature will be too cautious to show, but one who's confident that it's powerful will come out to face the challenge. So, like, he knew it would come out. Like, it's displaying its like kills or whatever. So it's like he knows
Mm.
this thing is gonna step out and fight him by saying like hello. It's like I don't know. It's just screaming hello. I feel like isn't like Hunter like, but he knew. I guess just based on the way it's like displaying its trophies that it would come and step to him or whatever after he makes
Right.
such a big, not proclamation, but I don't know
All
what the
all
word
he
is
all
for.
he has to do is let it be known that there's a human outside the door,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
the magic is going to be like blood,
yeah,
kill,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think it's really cool how, he says that, which is like, a testament to like how um high level of like a hunter he is to like deduce that about this magic, and then he was correct about it. It did come out to like meet the challenge or whatever. He notices that it's a body of water, remembers the catfish, sticks the knife in there, um invokes Inazuri, and then like zaps it, and then like old girl is like, damn bro, you're kind of nice with this shit. You just started this shit like, however long ago, but you're already like dummy, like, proficient with this shit low key. But then he ended up being wrong about this
yeah,
because he has to like, do it the trial way. Otherwise whatever he does, like hunter wise, like doesn't matter. So it's like they're not giving him too much, but they're still showing like a good like amount of competence in his character early to show that he's special, but they're not just like giving him everything. You know what I mean? They're like
yeah,
still
Yeah.
showing like shortcomings here and there, despite his level of prowess that they show alongside of it.
My
yeah, and even
question
like,
is,
go ahead.
how are the magics receiving information? Because the shark said she heard
Also,
about Ichi.
Yeah, they just talk to each other.
Yeah, but like,
They probably have some kind of like, you know, um, magic communication, not dimension, but just like specific channels that are unique to like magics to communicate with each other. Probably like they probably
yeah,
like meet up at a bar or some shit
Yeah, but
somewhere.
was
some
And, like,
kind of, yeah,
but who did it?
like
Was it
who did
Aurora?
what?
Was it
Oh,
like
okay,
they?
yeah,
The
because it's
only
like
two
how.
they've ran into are under their control.
Yeah, that would be interesting if there is some sort of like way that like the magics can kind of just fade back into like a magic zone and just like have their own web of communication, and your Aurora is just kind of like feeding information to other magics or whatever. That'd be something.
Definitely
yeah, it
a
seems like
thought.
could be the case.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it just heard from humans. Like, but who? Yeah, it's just weird. How does? I want to know how she knows too. Now that you say it.
Because normal people shouldn't know. They're trying to kind of keep it quiet.
Yeah. This thing, even Ichi's surprised when it pops back up, and he's like, "Now they're reeling our catch," and she's like, "Oh my god, you're kidding? That made me broke a nail." Like it just pops back up, like it's all good after
I like
getting zapped.
like I said earlier, I love that they're basically invincible until you actually win their trial.
Yeah, and it doesn't even like have a grudge or anything. It's just like
Yeah.
talking to him like he's like nobody. Like I love that it knows Discaris though. It's like I'm so flattered to be challenged by the abyssal witch herself. She came to get me. I can overlook an insult or two, and everybody's just kind of silly looking. All the chibi poses are funny, like when she's talking about who came to challenge her and shit. Discaris just has her arm out, like presenting this guy. He's standing there, arms crossed. She just has her arm out like 3 panels. She's still presenting Ichi as he's doing his thing. Yeah, these guys are just funny as hell. But it's a good chapter. I'm ready to see where this goes. And
Fashion Nova trial next week.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the start of volume 2. Can't wait to see what the volume cover for volume 1 looks like. That apparently is going to be out in January, so we'll probably see art for it like next month or something.
Need it sooner.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully we get that soon. But yeah, this was a fun chapter. Pretty cool stuff. Not a lot of craziness happened. Am I missing anything? Cut us to bits, burn us to ash. You gotta pass our trial, man. And we got a shark trial. Got some glamour is about to happen. So I think that's gonna be it for me for chapter. Was that chapter 8 of Ichi the Witch? 8th hunt. Let me go back up. Yeah, chapter 8, 8th hunt. What you think, Knox? Got anything else?
Wheezed.
Traffy
I'm good.
and we.
I'm all good.
All right, that's going to be it for Chapter 8 review of Ichi the Witch. All right, and now we're jumping into Astro Royale, Chapter 27, Karan versus Harumi. This is a great chapter, but I'm going to let you start things off. Traffy, tell us your thoughts.
All right. So first off, we get this nice little color panel, and I feel like it's simple, but it works. I like the color scheme, and I like the fact that it's focused on the fights that are currently going on. Speaking of fights that are currently going on, I like the setup that we're getting for this. How it's basically what it looks to be is one character per chapter. I don't think that
Imaru's fight's not going to be one chapter.
yeah, and I don't think most of these fights are going to be one chapter. Like I feel like Harumi, the guy that Yatsurugi is fighting, is going to get back up. But
I hope he does.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do
'Cause
like
I'd be really disappointed if he doesn't get back up here. Actually, I'll let you cook, but I have some words about this chapter. If this is all we get for this fight.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I do think he's going to get back up, but I do like how they are choosing, or Kinwakui is choosing to focus on one fight at a time. From what it seems like in this chapter, just giving them the time they need to go through with the fights is a great idea instead of trying to jump back and forth between them. Especially since in this chapter, it really lets Yatsurugi shine. Like we get to see his creativity.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Karan,
Yeah.
Because that's just
Yeah.
that's just like
Oh,
their
yeah,
family
you're
name
right,
or
my
bad,
whatever.
Karan.
Yeah.
We really get to see him shine in this fight and how he uses his powers. I find it really cool.
Yeah, my like I know that like I feel like I saw like a pretty positive reaction for this chapter across the board. I think it was fine with like Karan and Harumi's like little dynamic that they have going because he finds out that he's like this like famous pro wrestler that he used to like admire or whatever. But what felt like weird to me is that this nigga Harumi hit him with like multiple WWE moves throughout the fight. And like this nigga's like 6'8", 350, power bombing this nigga, German suplexing him and drop kicking him, and Karan doesn't really seem to be like too like hurt by like all of it. Like I'm sure like he like feels shit and like takes damage or whatever, but it's not like very well represented in the art in my opinion. And then for him to just like, if this is the end of the fight, just one German suplex from Karan ends it after, like, he took, like, 3 different signature moves like feels so fucking weird to me.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
yeah.
so
And
like,
like maybe if he would have like used his transformation to give like the lower half of his leg, like if he turned it like the lower half of his legs into like kangaroo legs or something as he went into this fucking German suplex, it would feel better if the fight was
Yeah.
over like after this. But like it's literally just his regular ass body doing this one move. And like there's blood shooting out of his mouth. Like there was no blood coming out of Karan's mouth through any of this shit,
Yeah.
bro. You know,
Maybe he's
and this
shifting his
motherfucker's got
body.
like, huh?
Maybe he's
I
shifting
mean,
his body to be more durable.
I think that would have been
That
shown.
would have
Like,
been specified in some kind
yeah.
of way in the like you can't just
Suspension
leave.
of disbelief.
No,
so
fuck that.
he
Nah.
Fuck
does.
that.
So after the first German suplex on him, he does say, "So you can go on the defensive, huh?" I feel like that's trying to say he did something, but it doesn't show us what he did.
Yeah, I think he just like backed up and like restanced like in a non-aggressive way, and that had him like, oh, okay, so you're not like being proactive in the fight because you're seeing that I'm like big bodying your shit right
Yeah.
now or
You're
something
not
like that. I don't
rushing
know.
me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just felt so like awkward for Karan to take all of these hits, get up like pretty easily after all of it, and then, you know, have the wherewithal to deliver like a seemingly definitive, you know, attack on Harumi by the end. You know, like he turned into an octopus, which like allowed him to like squirm his way. Like I think that that was really tight. Like when he was power bombing him and he was drowning him in the water, he like turned into an octopus and then moved his head from like where it was to like the other end of the octopus or whatever to like get behind him. Like I think that that was really creative and cool
Yeah.
for like the repositioning going into his counter German suplex or whatever. But I just think that it's like, bro, like like it just does
But
not feel right to me that this
Yeah.
like 4'7" like kid gets back up like after all of that to body slam this like 6'8", 350 linebacker like wrestler in such a seemingly conclusive way.
With no
It just
blood or scratches or anything.
yeah, like,
True.
and he just seems like way too cool and calm, like throughout all of this after like taking these signature moves. And the only other criticism that I really had besides that, like maybe the fight's not over and I'm complaining for nothing, but like even if the fight continues, it's like you did more with your one counter German suplex, like seemingly damage wise, than this dude did, like power bombing you, kicking you, and German suplexing you and drowning you. So it's just like feels awkward there. And if the fight continues, cool. I don't have as big of an issue with it. But then like also the writing between their two characters throughout this was fine like in the present time, but like
Yeah.
when they showed this like flashback for him, like all they did was show him in his fucking like luchador outfit in front of a fucking, you know, in front of a an audience,
Yeah.
and then like come back to present time. Like I was expecting there to be like a couple pages dedicated to some like, you know, pathos driven sad, you know, or like you know, more writing for like Harumi in like his situation. Like he gave some like in the present moment like dialogue about like how I was a wrestler obsessed with, or no, where did he say? Where did he say? He said, God damn it, what the fuck is the page? Where is it? Um God, what is his dialogue in regards to his because he was like, I was a wrestler and I did that, and then I
I was
like
ups- I was
yeah,
upset. Oh no, that's other kid.
he
As
was
a
yeah,
injured.
wrestler, a
yeah,
wrestler,
he
I
was
was okay.
yeah, he just like outwardly says it without like it showing like anything in the art. And I guess I'm just like used to, you know, mangaka taking a little bit more time to kind of immerse the audience in that backstory to a certain degree. If you're going to like make the point to show him, you know, in his wrestling days the way that they did, like it felt like it was basically just for a design so that it could
Yeah.
be like this is my luchador outfit, and yes, I was a wrestler, and yes, this thing happened, and then now, you know, my new boss like gave me like a newfound lease on life, and now I'm fighting for him, and it's like it just felt like really bare bones compared to like other manga that I've seen that have kind of like operated, you know, inside of like similar storytelling structures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
I think that would have went a lot better if they gave it like 1 or 2 pages to show his wrestling because they just show him in the ring with his
Yeah,
outfit, but they don't like if they would have at least shown him like wrestle and beat a guy, kind of like Takamura from fucking like Ippo.
yeah,
You see why people love him. It's like if they would have shown him beating the guy or like getting bloodied but still winning despite the odds or some shit,
yeah,
and then maybe cut out the chapter with the page with the power bomb or something. Maybe remove
yeah.
1 or 2 of the special moves from this fight, then it would have felt more realistic.
Yeah, either
Um,
that or like, show some kind of in flashback dialogue, with Harumi and like maybe, the fucking like professional wrestling company commissioner or whatever talking about how like, yo, you're injured, you're out of here, get the fuck out of my sight, you're useless to me now, you can't make us no more money now
yeah,
that you're not in like tip top shape, like your dream is done for, like we're about to replace you with some like new younger like, budding superstar or something like that, something to give him a little bit more pathos, but it's literally just him saying a very bare bones like this happened and now I'm here and
yeah,
let's fight like type
Yeah.
shit, and I was just like that's not doing it for me, low key.
yeah. That's
So
fair.
that's definitely an issue. But I do want to address one of the issues you brought up, which was he did
Yeah,
the one power bomb and that was it.
yeah,
So one part of the chapter that I was kind of confused about at first was, he turns into the octopus and he gets behind him, which at this point he could grab him and power bomb him, but
right,
instead he turns into a snake and he doesn't bite him, he just
Yeah,
squeezes him. And I think that
yeah,
squeeze is probably what does most of the damage, and then the
okay.
power bomb finishes it.
This the German suplex or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he
But
does look like
He
he's
does
like
go.
pretty.
Gah!
Yeah, he's like shit for a second, and he okay.
But still, it just I don't know. It
Yeah,
feels like he could have did more with these powers. Like, why not bite him? Like you're a
yeah,
cobra. Like, why
definitely.
not? Why not fucking put them fangs in him and get some venom on him? Like, maybe it's like because you're my hero type shit, and I just want to fight you fair. As fair as can be. But still, it's just like you turn into these things, and then you don't do. You got these big ass teeth, man. Like,
yeah.
Bite him.
it definitely felt weird. And then I don't know. I feel like when I read the chapter at first, I was like, yeah, he's done. But now that we're talking about it, I would like for him to not be done. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
usually like these kind of characters where they're like artificially created, super powered soldier beings or whatever, they always have their like, I'm not done yet. I
Yeah,
gotta I gotta repay the man who made me who I am. And they
yeah.
get back up and go into like some berserk mode. So
Maybe we get everything that I said we didn't get in this chapter next chapter, and if so, I'll
Very,
be like,
very
"Fuck yeah,
possible.
okay, Ken Wakui, my bad, bro."
I take it
But
back.
like, yeah, I'll take it all back. But like, if this really is like, if he really is KO'd after that, and then we switch to like, fucking Terasu's fight or something like that, like, and even if we did switch to Terasu's fight, it could just be the first chapter of Terasu's fight, and then the first chapter of Hibaru's fight, and then we come back to. I think that would be a really awkward structure
yeah.
to follow. But yeah, I don't know if this is it. Then I'm low key disappointed. I'm not gonna hold you.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
especially with there being no damage, unless like I want to say maybe changing form like cleans him up. So like if he got a bloody nose, but then he changed into a gorilla and then changed back, his bloody nose will be gone. But like
Not only does that like not feel good, but also there should be writing dedicated to explaining that that's how it works. If that's
yeah,
gonna be what it is.
yeah. But even then, like he doesn't ever like have a scar. There's no bruises or cuts or anything
Yeah,
on him with this damage. So it's like that. They should have shown him like that should be something that should be something we shouldn't have to be told. We should just see it. Like
yeah.
he should have like a broken back or neck or like say like that really hurt or
Yeah, like he
like
direct German suplexes him. He gets back up and he's like, "So this is the real deal." And it's like, "Nigga, no! Like you just got fucking back slammed on the back of your head
yeah.
on some like metal fucking surface." Like, and
He
then like he like kind of has like a winced like furrowed brow like expression on like page 11, and then he summons the Kraken, and then the next drawing of Kuran, he's like, "Huh?" And he like looks clean as fuck, and
yeah,
then
and he's doing the exact same move because like dude hit him with a German, he didn't have no blood. He
right,
hits dude with the German, and he's blood gushing out his mouth. But Karan got
yeah.
hit with 3 other moves.
Yeah,
Yato
so it's like, yeah,
Yato might be
Oh,
onto
wow.
something there because he gets drenched when he's getting power bombed, right? and then he turns into the octopus, and then he turns back into like a human form at the top of the octopus legs, and he's still soaking wet, like his hair's dripping and whatever.
Right.
And then then he turns into a snake, and he turns
Oh, and
back
then he's
human,
dry.
and then he's dry.
Oh, shit.
yeah, his hair, yeah, because in that one, his hair is down, and then when he changes back, his hair is back to spiky.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like his form is resetting when he shapeshifts, but awkwardly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So like writing could be introduced later because like at the end of the day, like he's still like learning how this shit works. So like we don't need to have like superimposed narration that's like Hunter x Hunter style that's explains this kind of thing. It would probably have to be dialogue that comes from the character that eventually says this stuff. And since this is a power system that everyone is figuring out at the same time, like from the same point, then it makes sense for us to not get the writing right away for it. But still.
It still feels like there should have been a little something here, and like some of
I
these
feel
other
like something's
forms,
missing. I feel like shit is missing from this.
Yeah, and he could have just done more with these other forms. Like while he was an octopus, he could have, bear hug dude or like
Stuck a
tried to
tentacle
trip
down
him
his
up.
throat.
Yeah, something. Okay,
Hey, wait, what?
yeah, you had me on board for a second.
Put the rattlesnake rattler down his pipe real quick.
Yato said, "Yeah."
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
You niggas are too freaked out, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like shit is missing, like both from the fight and from Harumi's like backstory. And I hope Ken Wakui continues this fight in the next chapter and gives those things.
Agreed.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm always on board for German suplexes and drop kicks.
I know. I was gonna say too. I was like, I know that this is like your favorite shit, so of course you love the chapter. But I'm gonna burst that bub real quick.
Yeah, no, that was real shit, and I totally agree. I do like that they had like the main. I like when characters have like the manly stare down or stand or whatever. So it's like I'm your biggest fan. Please shake my hand. But the shit behind like this shit is funny as hell because his tail is wagging as he's saying this. He's like,
oh my god, I didn't even peep that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, and then when he does, give him the hand, his tail is just stiff, like some manly shit, and then ask for the autograph. But it's joking then. But I might have to rethink about how I feel about the chapter because at first I said it was a good chapter. It's an okay chapter, but
I mean, like their like dialogue and their back and forth is like totally fine, like throughout the chapter. But I just wish that, like I was saying, that there was like some kind of in flashback dialogue for Harumi, just to give him a little bit more pathos. But like, fuck it, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope there's more.
Or like, and not even like it doesn't even have to be pathos. Like just to give him a little bit more depth in general. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, and like there should definitely be more like maps. Maps are cool. I wanted to say that because we got like a map or whatever. And
I
like,
did like that too.
Yeah.
Yes, it felt very One Piece to me.
And like this is one in particular. Like I feel like with the way this is set up, like Hibaru, is that the main character? Hibaru, Hibaru can like look down and see Quran, so it'd be like. It would do more if like the fight isn't over and like maybe things get hairy for like a moment for Quran and Hibaru can see that like he's looking down like yo I gotta hurry up and pack this up because my boy kind of getting thrashed now like
it is it's just a good idea to do a map style like splash page like this because having a good idea of where everyone is at and the audience having a good understanding of like the geography or whatever involved in any kind of like scene just like helps us follow everything better and just helps for the coherence and the cohesion like of everything. That's why like in like Lord of the Rings, like the Battle of Helm's Deep, that's why like that like scene like hits so hard is because they did a really good job of establishing where everyone is at any point in time throughout that scene or whatever. And that's like a really like highly praised like war or battle or conflict scene in like the film world or whatever because like it's just does such a good job of establishing the geography of the conflict. And like we get it a lot in manga, you know what I mean? I don't think we see it as much in like Western comics, for example. They don't really take the time to do shit like this, but it's really necessary when you have like this like mega structure like labyrinth style like building or whatever that like we're kind of hanging out in for this because like you said like Hibaru at any point in time could like look down and see that his homeboy's getting drowned or some shit and be like, oh shit, fucking Kuran is in trouble down there, and then like
Yeah.
it just like helps for like stakes, I want to say too. So
Yeah. Or like Karanka, be winning his fight and look up and see Ibarra getting bodied. He's like, no, man, you can do it. I'm coming up there right now, type shit.
yeah.
So, but overall, cool chapter. Knox has made me take this down a couple levels. But the
My bad.
color page was dope. I don't think we knew that Quran his tail was like white and red. I mean, we knew it was like, multicolored, but I didn't know red was the other color. Probably I thought like
Yeah.
white and black, or maybe like a tiger or something. So, black and orange or something. But color page is cool, but these other fights, so we're gonna see those soon. Wonder how Shield Bro is gonna do against Wind Girl, but hopefully dude gets back up on some, I ain't done yet bullshit.
He has to. Like
Ring
that's
the
such like
bell.
that's such a core like
Yeah.
element of like his like archetype, like too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't just take one fucking German suplex from a 15-year-old when you're fucking 6'8", 350 and you're just done. Like even if he got choked out a little bit by the Cobra form, like that's still not good enough.
Yeah, not
Like
from a 16-year-old kid.
yeah, like fuck that, my nigga. You got like 120 pounds at least on this kid,
Yeah,
and
he
at
shouldn't even
least
be
a
able to lift
foot.
you.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you would have gave yourself some fucking like kangaroo legs or something, and like really like
Or gorilla
jump,
arms or
yeah,
something.
or gorilla arms or something, and really jumped up and slammed this nigga, then like okay. Like shit makes a little bit more sense now, but like he was like regular teenage boy twink body when he did that. Like,
Yeah.
fuck all that.
Bro go get up and say, I ain't hear no bell.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need
Funny as
that.
fuck.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
cool chapter. Anybody else got anything to say about it?
I'm good.
I'm skeeted.
Okay. Knox.
Yeah, I'm skeeted.
Hey, we got him.
If you can't beat them, join them. But the chapter was not butterscotch, so.
Oh,
All right.
Team Skeet, we got a W. So that's going to be it for Ken Wakui's Astro Royale chapter 27. And now jumping into our last segment of the night, we'll now be talking about Kagurabachi chapter 55, Fight Alongside. And a lot of chapters that we talked about today were pretty chill. Everything was good, but it was also kind of chill. So it's like this was a fun, action-packed chapter, but it was also, filled with a lot of chatter or whatever. Not that that's a bad thing, but we start off with Hakuri and his recovery era or whatever. They're trying to, help speed up his recovery, and they're talking about
Recovery era.
yeah, it's a vibe, So they're talking about, the process of, recovering him and how, not doing so properly could damage his brain. It's like, okay, that's good for stakes. Gives us some drawbacks and some consequences to overusing an ability like that. Then we move into, new crew of characters, which very fun.
Crew.
The
Yeah, quirky
Makizumi are
crew.
raw as fuck.
Yeah,
quick,
11-year-old with the cigarette is everything
Candy
for me
cigarettes.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Oh yeah, he
It's a
does
candy
chew on
cigarette.
it. Yeah.
It even says candy on the
Oh, it
nose.
even okay. My bad.
Yeah. But yeah, my first thought when I saw this though was like I thought they were worried, and so like I didn't read the part where it said candy, and I saw like a kid, and I was confused for a sec. So I saw she went in there, she's like, wake up or whatever, growing boy, and then when he like sits up, I'm like, is this Samura's like son or something? Because he looks like it. He's got the glasses,
Yeah.
and then he like puts the
Yeah, but
cigarette in his
there's more to this kid though. He's like, I'm a growing boy, and she's like, physically anyway. And it's like,
Yeah.
is that implying some kind of like sorcery driven age like
Or just mature for his age.
situation? Yeah, or he's just mature for his age is what I was gonna say too. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm short for his age, but then like physically anyway, growing boy. It kind of feels like saying he's a growing boy and she's saying physically anyway makes it seem like
He's
if-
older
if-
than he really is.
yeah, like mentally
Yeah.
he's not a growing boy. Like he's in his prime or whatever. His body just hasn't caught up or isn't there for some reason.
Yeah.
Mystery.
Yeah, I immediately went to like, oh, this is sorcery of some kind. Like this nigga's like 95 or some shit, and like, but he's
Look,
in the
it's-
body of like a boy. But like, I'm pretty sure it's what Weeb said.
It's manga.
So
It's one or the other.
yeah, I think it's just what Weeb said.
Yeah, but I definitely thought that he was like Samura's kid or something. But then I was like, nah, he's just like a fucking fanboy and is like
Yeah.
dressing like him and
Yeah,
doing the cigarette thing like him type shit. So it's just
yeah,
cool.
Speaking of Samura, they really went all out with like portraying the echolocation for the battle and how anybody as a friendly entering this fight right now would kind of screw things up and get them confused
yeah,
with
Yeah.
bloodlust, the sounds, and the smells. And so having a literal ninja squad whose
yes,
whole task is erasing their set and presence to help them out, that way they don't get in the way of battle.
yeah.
Perfect.
It makes so much sense, and it's so fucking raw, and it's just like so many good ideas that go towards this like cool aura factor that this series just exhumes.
Exudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What did I said exhumes? Oh god, it's late.
Same shit. But
Exudes. Thank you,
it's
Weeb.
just having a ninja squad be like, completely silent ninja squad is the last thing I expected for the blind echolocation swordsman. This is fucking cool as shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the commander apparently. So yeah, he's the commander of this like assistant squad or whatever. The other dude, like when she says commander wake up, the dude's like out of bed. He yells at him. So like they got a interesting relationship.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they really bring out all the stops to try and take down these sword users, man. Like this hat tree not Kuminabi, but hat Hishaku guy. He brought a lot of goons and he's got trees everywhere.
Amunabi.
Yeah, Kaminami's the homies. This is
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Hishaku. Yeah, for now. But yeah, buddy, he's still strong, bro. Even when we distract his senses, he still picks up on hostile energy. Was it energy? Yeah, energy. So he's
Yeah.
cutting through, man. He's different with them blades.
And I
And I
just
like
love like
how
stories like these that like have like bloodlust detection like baked into like the combat and just like or the power system or like whatever like whenever that's
oh yeah.
like used is like always so fucking good for me.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like one of my
it's
favorite
like a
things about
it's like a
shits like
sixth
this.
sense.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I also like how the Hishaku member that's leading all of them is like figuring everything out on how Samara fights and is trying to work his way into messing up his senses to actually get him to trip up.
Hmm.
You gotta love antagonists that are strategizing in the midst of combat and taking advantage of opponents' weaknesses in real
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and then the
yeah,
competence of like the protagonist force that like are taking that into account and then also throwing counter strategies back and forth, the whole time just like adds
Hmm.
to the hype. Yeah.
yeah. To go ahead, Trav.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. My bad.
No, I was weeb, I think.
Were you saying something? My bad.
Oh no, the thing I kind of like is that uh, well, damn, I already forgot the other
Uraha?
sword bear's name. Is it Urahara?
Uraha.
Yeah.
Uraha. I
Uraha.
like how Uruha. I like how he has studied and fought alongside and trained with Samura so much that he could literally anticipate all of his movements, and so he could
Hmm.
like seamlessly get into the fight and avoid all of his moves, so that he can help him in a fight
Yeah, without, playing
without.
into that weakness that Samura has where like allies can like fuck up his funk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Well, I
good.
think
And it makes sense.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, what's happening here is that Samura is sensing his hostility, but he's using
Yeah.
that hostility to direct him to different targets. So like he'll stand near someone and then he'll dodge last second so they get hit instead of him by
Oh, is
Samura's
that what's
attack.
going on?
I think
Mm,
so.
Oh, that's ice water. Gee, wait a minute.
interesting.
Is that really it?
I think so.
Interesting.
And then
Oh.
Roha fights someone that's behind Samura
Yeah.
Oh,
before he
that's
Okay.
betrays
so
him.
fucking sick.
Okay.
It's really good.
That's cool if that's happening. I was just kind of like thinking that he since he knew how Samura fought, he just would like dodge or whatever and get
And
the
Yeah.
next
Well,
that's
guy.
he
part of
is
it.
dodging, but he's using it
Yeah.
to their advantage.
Aim.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like painting targets for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love how on like page 18, like sure you get like the writing that says like it's a shinobi force that are good at, concealing their presence and it like immediately clicks that it makes sense that they would not, interrupt Samura's fighting style because of these things that are attributed to ninjas that anyone reading this manga is already going to know about. But they make a point on, page 18 to show these shinobi communicating with each other during the fight. And she's using like sign language or some shit, like, to like tell them like, help them or whatever. And it's just like that level of consideration is just like really good to notice. It's like you don't just have to like go off of like the shared knowledge that we have of shinobi to like, tell us everything. You still go out of your way to show what that means in certain ways, like in the conflict as well.
Yeah, because these guys can't, say things. They gotta fucking play by, they gotta follow how Samura fights, and it's cool that
like
they
you could
even
totally get away with like not showing this, and we would still like understand that they're ninjas who like make no sound and have neutralized their sense and like can hide their malicious intent, and whatnot. Like you could totally just have them have action art, and we just know that they're operating the way that they are, but to just like dedicate like extra panels to like showing what that looks like in different scenarios is just really good.
Yeah. Hiding their scent is crazy too, by the way.
Yeah,
I can see hiding your sound and like stuff like
it's
that.
like, bro, you're running around and jumping and doing backflips and swinging swords and shit. Like, how are you not musty?
Imagine you just start and your ass gets sliced down. It's like a quiet place.
Right, like, and you're not getting nobody's blood on you. That's like adding to your scent, like as you're killing niggas either. Like these motherfuckers are cold blooded.
Like a drop of blood like flying across the room and landing on like your cheek. That's gotta make a sound. They dodging blood while slashing and everything. These dudes are different. Something that was very cool on this double spread where it gives their name, the Makizumi. You guys notice these fucking squiggles are not all squiggles. There's like hands and shit up there, like at the top, right above Samura, somebody's hand is chopped off.
Oh yeah,
and
there's a head too.
Like,
I see a head too.
Yeah, there's a couple of things like in there, a hand on the right side. I don't know what.
These niggas getting active for real.
Busy. I love how them joining was not like the clear solution. Like normally something and most other manga, like something like this happening, it's like okay, the tide is immediately flipped, but like they still, I don't know. Yeah, like Uruha, I feel like normally a situation wouldn't call for like when backup like this shows up, character like Uruha wouldn't immediately join the fray too, but he's like, they're fighting and it's like, oh shit, we're still outnumbered, overwhelmed, and Uruha jumps in. It's like it's cool that like them joining wasn't the thing that tipped the scales and into like the good guys, favor or whatever. They're still in trouble.
Yeah.
So they're not in as bad as the spots.
Yeah, but shit's hairy. But this was a good chapter, man. It did a lot for Samura's fighting style because he's the guy, and it gives him some weaknesses and shows that he's got some some ways to deal with those weaknesses.
I'm excited for what Hikaru's gonna do.
Yeah, Hikari. Yeah, his shit's good, man. He's getting some good development. I'm glad he's showing up and doing something. Talking about he the only one that hasn't risked his life. The chapter started with him and it ends with him. And anytime that mask comes on screen, man, it's hype.
His character's come such a long way.
Yeah, but he's low key crashing out right now because it's just like, brother, like you don't even need to be doing this right now. Like the entire plan hinges on your ability to, do what we know you need to do. And if you're like interrupting that for any reason, like I understand it's for noble like purposes, but like brother, like lock in. Like
Sir,
this is a little too risky. You know what I'm saying?
Like how things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes a route that I was thinking of before for this section of the arc, where since Hikaru was getting his storehouse ready, manages to in the chaos touch one either Uruha or Samura, and in that instance manages to register their power, and then him taking one of their blades, then transferring it there so they can just instantly end this portion of the fight.
Wait, doesn't he need to come in contact with the swords that the Hishaku have to transport them?
No, because thanks to Chihiro, as long as since those swords are contracted with them and share their spiritual power.
Oh, right. So
okay,
no, I'm back. So he because I was wondering like if all he needs to do is come in contact with the sword bearers, then like why didn't he just do that right away? And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like he's recharging his power from the last time he used it since he's come in
Okay.
contact with the sword bears, and that's why he hasn't just done it already.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's what he is intending to do here then, because like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering like what is his goal, like, you know, getting my guys out of here type shit,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because
Either that.
I
Either
was
that.
thinking of a situation where it's like I try to teleport like Samura like out of here to get him safe, but I accident like Uraha steps in front and I teleport Uraha away and Samura gets cut down or something. But if he can bring the blades here, that will for sure tip the balance, and these guys will get fucked.
Samora will
Yeah.
survive.
No.
No.
Sorry, buddy.
Ah,
Death
He's
flag.
out
to
of
death
he's
flag.
out of here like last year, my pal.
nah, he's
Yeah,
getting a sword.
If Samura and Uraha got their blades here, we're packing up the story. Yo, Hat Dude's gone. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they sneak up on him with like a trap, killing at least one of them.
Yeah, there's got to be some like the Hishaku nigga John or whatever his name is from last chapter
yeah,
was talking about how they still have a trump card. So it's
Yeah.
like something's going to go wrong here. Like and especially because these last couple of chapters
Things are going
have
too well.
shown the protagonist force in a very confident light. Yeah, exactly. Like things are going a little bit too well for a little too long. Sure, Chihiro is like, you know, in a weird situation, like wherever the fuck he is with Hirohiko or whatever. But like still, like nah, like there's just not enough dread.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
You
crazy
know?
how even with how many members they have, the Hishaku are only 10 members or whatever. They are still able to put this much pressure on them in multiple locations. Like they could be
Yeah.
mounting another assault at another location right now, and it's like they got a fucking dude fighting Chihiro, and he's got two swords like on the way, and then like they got all these people here to defend Samura, and it's like an army of guys, and then the Hat Hishaku dude are here, so it's like a lot of they're allocating a lot of resources to deal with like 1 to 2 guys,
Hmm.
and it's like they only have 8 other people. They have 8 other people who are just free to do whatever they want right now. It's like where are those guys? And
Right.
Maybe the trump card is calling the rest of them there.
Shit
With
could get
the
hairy.
teleportation.
God, they
Maybe
have
it's
some.
gonna
Yeah,
set
I
up
was
in
just
this
about to
chapter
say
with a
they have some kind of
teleportation
yeah.
thing for them to escape.
I
They're
think
about
it
to
would be
do
cool.
like
They'll have that.
they're about to do the villain version of the fucking like climax of Endgame in the MCU,
Oh, yeah.
like where like
Yeah.
everyone comes out of the Doctor
Samara.
Strange portals.
And Samura is the last one standing to get everyone to escape.
Oh, the sacrifice, man.
No.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Traffy.
Yeah. What if somebody's got like a fucking I want to see somebody with an ability now where they can like tap into somebody else's ability. So like somebody's like, oh cool, this kid can portal things or whatever. Not portal, but like somebody forces like Kakuri's ability to activate for their like benefit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just
You never
like
know.
kind of like how All for One like forced Kurogiri's like portal ability or whatever, some shit like that. But nobody
I
here
don't
has
know.
a
I
portal.
dropped that shit, so I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah.
That
Oh, yeah, speaking of
happens. That happens hella
off
early.
topic.
Oh, does
Off
it?
topic.
Oops.
Just
Yeah.
Okay.
off topic. Just wanted to feed onto that. Just quick thing for the UMHA fans out there. Final volume's gonna get 60 additional pages for MHA.
Yeah.
Snore me. Anyway.
If it don't
Back to
have
Kagurabachi.
Deku's dad or Brave in it, I don't care.
Maybe.
But yeah, Kagurabachi, man, the better manga.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, we got swords and samurais.
Back to real fiction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
real fiction is funny as hell. But yeah, I can't. I like these guys, man. Ninjas are always cool, and we didn't like. Did we have anybody specifically like called ninja? Well, they're not even called. Yeah, they are Kuminami Ninja
They're called
Force.
ninjas,
Okay,
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
me.
But no ninjas
elite
before these guys.
Samura bodyguards. These dudes are dope, man, and they do the whole like fucking echolocation screen. They don't exist on Mr. Samura's battlefield. And you just see dudes getting chopped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool
Bro
transition.
understands like raw like character design and dynamic posing, and also understands like really cool one-liners and like lines of dialogue that like add to that art hype. Like
Mhm.
just says so many like sick things going for it in the series. Bro understands the assignment for real.
Yeah, you know the
Yeah.
game. Analyst.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Yeah, good chapter. I don't know how these guys like Uraha's like, if we join the battle, our familiar smells will mix in with the gunpowder and smoke and confuse them. I don't know how the samurai dude, the ninja guys aren't doing that, but they
Yeah.
on a
That's right.
different level. These motherfuckers are dodging gun smoke. But
I just assumed they used sorcery to mask their scent.
yeah, some
Okay,
kind
I
of
like that.
some kind of yeah, because we do need some more sorcery abilities that aren't sword ability based or whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, Uraha coming to the field, man. That's dope. I'm here for it. Hopefully, hopefully, fucking Samura doesn't actually accidentally cut his fucking head off. Though that
That
would be
would be
wild.
so fucking crazy if they
That'd
went
be
that
Yeah.
route.
that'd be crazy for
Because that
Stacy.
is
Like,
that is like a level of risk that they're kind of like introducing
Playing with.
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
playing with, yeah.
because it could very well happen where he accidentally like cuts like slits his throat by mistake, and it's like he goes and he's like, Uraha, are you straight? And he's just dead, and then like people attack him because he's like had that moment of weakness where he realized he fucked up,
Right.
and now he's a
Yeah.
fucking target. They kill both of them in the same arc. Yeah,
Nah,
Dogbert.
no one's
gone.
dying.
Yeah.
If it's a loss like that, then like what I was talking about like last week is just no more. like completely like will
There's the bell for
clear
the
all
protagonist.
doubt that I have, like, because that's like really early for a loss like that still. Like we're less than 100 chapters in,
Mm.
and if the Hishaku wins like that, like that's such a big deal.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it puts so many like that's such a power move for them. Their like strength just increases insanely by
Yeah.
having two like real swords on their side. Also, just something I noticed, just looking at this double spread where Uraha dodges, he actually does cut his hair off. Samura
Oh
Oh
cuts
yeah, he does.
Samura cuts
yeah.
the top of
I didn't even
he
dog.
cuts the top of his like ponytail off or whatever.
Oh damn!
Dude,
Yeah,
I
of
didn't
course.
even peep that.
Yeah, so we might get a fuck up because Uraha isn't perfectly dodging like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
so
Yeah.
yeah. This might end
Imagine
in
what that would do for Samura's character if he accidentally killed his homeboy like that.
Oh my
Like
god.
if Samura was the one to survive and Uraha died, and that's how, like, dude,
bruh.
that's such a big deal character
I would
wise.
still
Yeah.
tell y'all I was right.
No,
Bruh.
you would be wrong somehow in that way. I don't know how
The
yet, but I'll be back next week to let you
the
know how.
Alright,
yeah.
alright.
The idea of Samura is gone, yeah, because he no longer can wield the sword because he killed one of his own.
Oh
Type shit.
yeah, if that
Yeah.
would be such a crazy like character arc moment
Yeah,
for
it's
him.
like, I refuse to wield a sword now. Type shit.
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
just starts punching people.
No, he's just done. He just fucking lives a peaceful life and fucking restricts himself from everything. He stopped smoking and drinking and fapping it. Now he's not
He
even gonna
might
eat.
just fucking boom himself after
Yeah,
something
Oh
like that,
god.
though.
yeah, that's some dishonorable shit. So he just
Dishonorable.
yeah, he just ends it. I can see it, but
uh,
I think that's gonna be it for me for chapter 55. It was pretty smooth sailing. There's some cool action and some Mura stuff is always fucking welcome. So, what you guys think about 55?
oh man, yeah, this
Really
chapter
good.
was fucking ice water bezoji. Can't wait for the
As
next one.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got anything else to say, Traffy?
I'm skeeted.
Okay, so we are all skeeted out. That was chapter 55 of Kagurabachi, Fight Alongside. So that's going to do it for Shonen Pulse episode 5. We had a lot of fun conversations about a lot of great chapters today. If you aren't reading, everything we talk about, you should change that. And also, you should do something along the lines of teabagging that subscribe button and hammering that like button. It would go a long way for us. We are at about 500 subscribers now. We appreciate every one of you who did, subscribed, and we would appreciate 500 more of those. Help us get to 1,000 so we can get monetized and afford cheeseburgers for our family. Anyway, that's gonna do it for episode 5. If you guys have anything to say, please leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to check out our Twitter because we be tweeting on there sometimes, and also check out the community tab. But that's gonna do it for episode 5. Thank you guys for watching.